Okay, first of all, thank you, General Tsos, for joining me.
Hey, thank you, Ziz.
I'm going to do a quick explanation of how things are going to work, and then we're going to start the AMA. So, for those of you who haven't been here before, this is sort of like the Reddit AMAs, but in person. So, we have a couple of questions from Reddit, a couple of questions from me, and we have a bunch of questions that you guys can be asking live in chat. Now, the way you ask a question is you tag at Zizaran. You can ask General Tsos anything about anything. Does not have to be Path of Exile related. Um, and we have my mods are picking out the questions and helping organize them, and we'll get through as many as we can. So yeah, thank you so much for joining us. This is I'm pretty excited. Are you ready?
Oh, I'm so ready. Thank you, Ziz.
So
Hi,
ready.
chat.
That's good. Okay, well the first one is Ask General, so sticking to say the word dagger.
Oh, it's a Dagger. It's a meme that was borrowed from our predecessor, Mr. Baked Chicken, and it rolled into. It started off as I had all the baked, a few of the baked viewers in my chat, and when I was a smaller streamer, and then so we just kept saying it like that.
Nice. So a question from me, like how long have you been streaming now?
I have been streaming for about 4 months now. Um, yeah, 4 months, I think. It's been a good time.
What's your favorite thing about streaming so far?
I'd have to say, it's like the shared community, just as in real life, you hang out with certain people because, you either enjoy their personality or you enjoy that camaraderie. And it's good to be able to, like, I work a full-time job, so I come home at the end of the day and, like, how lucky am I to be able to log into this game and there's like, a couple hundred people that share the same interests that want to discuss that game, or maybe they don't even want to discuss that game, but they have the same attitude um, towards it. I think that's pretty awesome. So that's my favorite part.
Is there anything that you haven't liked about it?
Um, I would say probably it makes me a little bit tired at the end of the day,
Yeah.
right? Like after 4 or 5 hours for me, I'm just exhausted, and also I don't like now that I can't really like when I was a younger streamer, I'd read every chat, no matter what it was. If I was getting trolled, if I wasn't getting trolled,
Yeah.
I'd read every single message and go through that. And now it's you miss a lot of things. You miss
Yeah.
some of the chat interaction. You miss some of the connection with there's some really cool people out there. Just because maybe there might be too many people in chat and stuff. So that's one thing I really don't like. I prefer that personal connection more.
Do
You
you
know.
feel like there's a big difference between just playing video games normally and streaming them? Like how tired you are?
Oh yeah, yeah. Because the thing is, and my viewers know that when I end the stream, I'm still online in
Yeah.
Path of Exile for another, 2, 3 hours sometimes, just playing, and it's a different feeling. And I love the stream because when I used to play without streaming, I play each league for 2 or 3 weeks, and I'd be done. I would not want to play anymore, and I'd go to like play some Counter Strike or something else. But now with streaming, it kind of rejuvenates the game because you're not all reliant on the game
Yeah.
to give you entertainment. And as much as we're like, we're streamers, we provide entertainment. Hopefully, it's also like our chat provides us with endless discussion and entertainment and things to think about.
Yeah. Um Something I was curious about, like me personally, is how much of your like stream would you say is like do you feel like you act at all on stream or are you just 100% yourself? Like how much would you say is like something you put on like a personality sort of thing?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I would say no matter what, whether it's on stream or in real life, when you're being watched or when you're around other people, you do act different, right? I
Mhm.
think that's an important thing to know. And like there's been studies of this in the workplace. When you're being watched, you perform differently. So I would say it's probably around 50-50. Like you have to, when you turn on the camera, you have to put on some kind of persona, right? Because like and I think you would agree to this, you have to do certain things to highlight your personality or to highlight the things that you're doing on stream. So 50-50 is a good balance, I think. But I think the people that, and it kind of sucks because the people that just joined the stream, they could catch me at a moment when I'm like completely, being a troll, or I could be completely
Yeah.
genuine. And if in that like few seconds you have with that person, if they take it the wrong way, it's really bad, right?
Yeah.
Um, but hopefully people who watch for longer know that a lot of it is a persona, and it's I'm trying to become a little bit more less persona-ish, right? Because you don't want to go like too big
Too
as your stream
mealy.
grows. Yeah, yeah, you don't want to get like that, but
No, that's cool. Like I definitely agree. I think one of the biggest things I've mentioned, or like for example, laughing. Like if I'm sitting alone, I won't like laugh. I remember something I read on Funny Junk because I exhale more air than normally. Whereas like if
okay.
you're actually like I will actually like laugh out loud literally while like doing things. It's like very like small things as well. You can notice like difference.
Absolutely,
Um
absolutely. It's kind of like when you watch like a funny movie with
yeah.
people, it's you're more inclined to, laugh with
Yeah,
people.
or react like on a lot of things. If
Of
you find an
course.
exalted orb and you're alone, you're like, but if you're like lots of people watching, you're like, oh my god, exalted orb. It's like very much as you said, like with other people watching and stuff. Um, so this is first question by Shimmels. Shimmels, do you talk in the same way baked chicken talk, like on purpose?
Yeah, good question. Good question. So, for those of you that watched, Baked Chicken, I started streaming because Baked Chicken like quit streaming, and I was always in that chat because before watching that channel, I was playing Flame Totem like all league long for like 2, 3 leagues in a row. I didn't know what like good clear speed was. I didn't know any of these things, and so I spent a lot of time in that channel, just basically copying his builds, Vol Spark, like his iterations of it, cock discharge and stuff like that. And then when I started streaming, it was like 10, 20 people that were from Bake's channel. And so they would mention these like I guess you would call them memes, and we would just like it would just like snowball, and we'd like pick those things up. And it was really fun to because we missed him so much that we wanted
Yeah,
to remember him in this way. And now it's just become like people in the in the chat use it, and it's been a fun time, and lots of the things um what's that little quote that's like, everything I've accomplished is because I've stood on the shoulders of giants, right? It's because you take things from other streams and you make them your own in a certain way. And yeah, so yes, the question is yes.
cool. Yeah, no, I remember I watched you really early on, and I was like, I wasn't like sure how trolly you were gonna be because Baked was really trolly, which was sort of I remember talking to Baked a few times off stream, and it was like really hard for me to like is he trolling me right now? So I was sort of like the same anticipation with when I was talking to you the first time. I was like, but I
Yeah.
wasn't really sure if you were trolling or being real, which was interesting. But
Maybe maybe we should tell the chat about our first real interaction. I tell that story.
yeah,
It's kind of
go
cute.
for it.
So I remember I work a full-time job. I'm like 8 hours a day in the office. And I remember this one day, I got a message on Twitch chat from Zizaran, or maybe you were PC Child at the time. I can't remember.
Easy
And
chat.
I was like, wait, I was like, wait, is that is that the big boy streamer? And I got all flustered. And I was like, hi. And then you asked me, you were like, hey, so I'm ending my stream soon. Are you gonna be online in 10 minutes? And oh, I like looking around for like my boss and stuff. I was like debating leaving work and going home and like turning on the stream just so I could like get that, uh, you know, I could, uh, I could start my stream and have you host me. I was so excited. And this was at a time where I think you were the first one to help me with my CLR
Yeah,
browser and like my OBS settings and all that stuff. So yeah, I was so jazzed. And
yeah, no,
so that
like
was a
it
fun little
can help a
story.
lot with like a host early on and stuff. Like I remember getting out of like Zero of Your Hell is pretty pretty crazy. But yeah, no, I mean,
Yeah.
I checked out your stream. Like, I generally check out a lot of smaller streams and new streamers to Path of Exile. Like, I was checking out Trightmare the other day. It was a really fucking hilarious outfit, and
The crown,
yeah,
right?
it's great.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. So yeah, no, it's cool. I checked you out, so I was trying to see when you were gonna stream. Um, say something. Yeah, I had a question when we were talking about baked. There was another follow-up question I had. So, is your name something you made after knowing Baked Chicken, or did you have like a previous nickname before that?
Oh, the name I came up with when I created the Twitch account, I
Yeah.
was like, well, I'm Asian. What's something that non-Asian people can relate to that, has like that has like Asian culture, I guess. And even General Tso's isn't like real Asian culture. It's like American made Chinese food. But I just picked it because I was like, oh, it's Asian culture that people will know is like Asian, I guess. So if that makes any sense.
Cool. I was just wondering if it was something you picked after you knew baked chicken.
hmm Yeah, it was way before, way
Cool.
before. It just synced up like that.
Right. Next question is also baked related. It's by Walla Baby. I wanna know if that motherfucker is actually Baked's brother. Lol. Sick.
Yeah. Well, baby, I'm actually not Bake's brother. He lives on the West Coast, I think. I live in Chicago, and it was just whenever I would always get the question, I still do. It's the most common questions in the chat are probably like, where is Baked? When is he coming back? And are you really related to Baked, right? And then so because of that, I'll just answer it with like, a non sequitur with just like, yeah, he's in the kitchen making like a hummus plate with mom, or he's cooking or something. So
The thing is, you were so
not really.
convincing the first time I heard that I fully believed you. And I was like, really though? That doesn't seem possible. And but I was like, no, okay, maybe like, cause I heard like a sound, and you were like, oh, that was just baked, and I was like, okay,
Oh.
maybe they're related.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's like, I mean, all Asians do look alike, right? Like sometimes I have a hard time telling too. So,
I wouldn't say you look very similar. It was just like I thought it could be. I look nothing like my brother at all. Maybe he's
mhm.
adopted. But the next question is actually like, when will it's by X-Men Jade and Mark 3107? When will Big Chicken come back? Like, do you actually talk to him or?
No, I've never talked to him. He stopped by my stream too, like in the way early days. He stopped by a couple times to chat about like builds and stuff like that, but we don't actually talk. It's funny though, because like every time, like sometimes, you're feeling creative or whatever, and someone asks the question like, "Hey, do you know anything about baked?" And it evolves over time. At first, it was just like, "Yeah, he's downstairs in the kitchen," and then it evolved into like, he got bad grades in school, so our mom changed the Wi-Fi password, and it just keeps changing. The answer keeps changing. I can't even follow it that much anymore. But yeah, it's a fun time.
Good. Um. Okay, let's see. Okay, so this is a slightly less serious question, but OP for you. Fuck, marry, kill, Mathel, dismantle time, and Ziggy D.
Oh, all right. Well, you know, I am in the stage of I'm 28 years old, so I'm in the stage of my life where, you actually think about marriage and stuff like that. And like, what do you want out of your partner, right? You probably want a kind heart and, a good head on their shoulders. So I would definitely marry Ziggy. Now, who's Mathel? Is he a streamer? Who is he?
um,
He's what?
he's a YouTuber.
So, oh, okay. I mean, I used to follow some workout videos back in the day, and I think I saw some abs somewhere in there. So I would have to bang Mathwell, It would just be once though. It would just be once. And then I would have to, I mean, I would
Yeah,
have to kill Dismantle, I guess, because that's the only
dismantle
option.
time.
The dismantle time, yeah.
Fair enough. That's
Yeah.
a good answer. I think everyone would marry Ziggy. Ziggy's just like he would cook for you. He would be there for you, like a solid bedstone rock.
He is a true gentleman. He's a very nice man. I like him.
The next question is by Arcane Fox. So, what's the most visually appealing build in the game without any MTX?
Ooh, what a good question. I might have to take a couple seconds to think about this because I don't think I've ever really played a skill that hasn't been able to take advantage of the juicy effects. I would say Spectral Throw is nice. Sometimes like I'll buy a lab
Mm-hmm.
carry from someone that is not running Reaper Spectral Throw or what's like the banana one, the
Fair enough.
Seraph? Yeah, Seraph one. And I'll be like, wait, what is it? Is that the actual weapon flying out? So I really like that. Did you see the guy's video that had the max AoE on certain skills as well? It was a long time. He posted all these skills with max AoE and Ice Crash took up the entire screen and the spikes like grew larger with the AoE and that looked really cool. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I actually really liked Split Arrow, the new Split Arrow. I was sort of sad about the MTX because the default one looks really cool now
hmm hmm
compared to what it did before. Next question is by Sanjo Fair Justice. Have you considered going full-time streaming due to the recent surge of viewers you've had?
Full-time streaming, you know, I thought about for a quick second, and once again, I'm an older guy, around 28, so I have to think in realistic terms, and I would have to say no because if you work at like a decent day job there and you live in America, especially, oh God, NA, you have to think about things like insurance and then retirement fund matching, which if you don't know is like when you work a regular day job, most good companies will match your retirement savings. So imagine if you have a tab, you put in an Exalt each week, and then magically another Exalt shows up. That's what it's like. It's free money. And
It's like
so
stream RNG.
it's like streamer RNG, yeah, or RMT, I guess. But and so things like that make it very hard for me to think, long term, what is the better option. And so I'm a little bit risk averse. So I would say I'd have to stick to a day job, but I would consider streaming longer hours. Right now I only do 4 hours, but I know people like you very admirable. You do like 16 to 57-hour streams, and that's like it blows my mind. So maybe I'm still like developing the identity of the channel
Yeah.
and developing as a streamer. So we'll see.
What's the longest stream you've done so far?
I've done 12 to 14 hours before.
Yeah.
Let me think. Yeah, 12 to 14 hours I've done. And this was though when I was like first month or two of streaming, I was like really jazzed, but I was like amazed that people would actually want to watch, someone who's not like the best at the game,
Mm.
like play the game. And I was like, oh my God, people want to watch. I might as well stream longer. But now I get really tired at the end
Yeah.
of the night. And I've been going like back to the gym. So the gym takes up a little bit of my energy as well.
Yeah. And how do you feel like at the end of that stream, like 12, 14 hours? Are you like completely dead at the end of it or?
Yeah, I think I still played a little bit. I still played a couple hours after because I don't know if you feel like this. When you end your stream, can you just play more and it feels good, right?
That depends on the stream.
Mm.
Like, so it's been slightly different for me this month. Like this month I've been a little sick for a change. It's like the first time I've been sick in 2 years. And
Oh, okay.
I've been like taking a little more time for like working out, eating healthier and stuff. But generally during the second month, I'd be streaming 12 to 14 hours and then playing 1 to 2 hours off stream and then sleep. Still be doing my rotating. Right now I'm staying in the same time zone. So I would generally be going to bed right after stream.
Okay. How many hours do you sleep on average, would you say? Like the last couple weeks or so?
A 6 to 8 hours last couple of weeks.
That's good. That's
Yeah, it's
excellent.
pretty healthy. Start of a month, it's like 3 to 4 hours.
Yeah,
Pretty
yeah,
rough.
that's the hype. And it's weird because like, you don't feel like you ever need that sleep at the beginning. You're so jazzed up on the new league and you just want to play, play, play. And I get that. It's awesome.
So there's a lot of there's quite a lot of questions about like full-time streaming and stuff, and people are asking about your like full-time job at Walmart.
Hmm.
Um, so I'll rephrase it. Is being a streamer your long-time plan if you manage to earn a living, or is it just a hobby? So you're just looking at it like a hobby, right?
Yeah, it's a hobby and like it's really nice so far. Like the money thing has never been any I guess like purchasing decision into becoming a
Mm-hmm.
full-time streamer, right? I spend all the money I get from Twitch into things like $1,000 supporter pack,
Yeah.
into things like MTX I buy on stream so people can like, see all that stuff. But I guess people asking about the job stuff. I don't really talk too much about that on stream. If you want, I could go into a little bit of, I guess, background so you can
Well,
maybe.
the second part of this question is if it is your long-term plan, assuming it wasn't always that, what were your previous aspirations?
Oh, previous aspirations. Okay. When I was when I was a kid, I wanted to, are you talking about like what I wanted to be like an
Yeah.
ideal job
Yeah.
or the actual job? Okay. When I was a kid, I had super Asian parents, like tiger mom and like very strict dad, and I told them that I wanted to be like a fireman or like a policeman, and I'm like, I'm gonna do it. This is gonna be awesome. I even thought about like joining the military when I was a little kid. And, Asian parents, they always like structure your ideas into more applicable occupations. So they like, oh, you want to save lives as a fireman or a doctor? Or, I'm sorry, you can save lives as a fireman or a policeman. Just be a doctor, you know, um, and stuff like that. So growing up, I wanted to do all these things, but then the upbringing led me to choose a path. I went to school at Kelley School of Business, where I got both my degrees. I majored in finance and also a little minor in astronomy to have a little bit of fun, right?
Hmm?
To kind of like throw that in my parents' face. And then so straight out of school, I worked at Boston Consulting Group for a little bit less than a year, and then I went to go teach ESL, like English as a second language, in Amsterdam and Thailand. And then now I'm back here and I work another J job, similar field as my first job, and streaming on the side.
Cool. So have you had anyone in like real life recognize you as a streamer? Or...
No, never, never. I mean, I don't think I've been streaming long enough. And Chicago is a big. I've met a couple people who live like down the street from me, or like not down the street, like in a separate neighborhood from me, like 5, 10 minutes away. And that's really cool. But no, never out in public.
Cool. The next question is by Steiner VJ95. Who do you think is the most thick Wii player streamer?
The thick. What is? I always see that typed in
Don't
chat.
know either. I was
What is?
hoping
Does
you
it mean
knew.
like? I thought it meant like attractive, right? Like thick, as in like if a lady is thick, they're like they have like a nice body. Maybe is that what it means?
Hold on. Define.
Let's define it on Urban
No.
Dictionary. I thought
It's
you knew. I mean, you've been on the internet longer than I have, or you've been around this Twitch thing a lot
I
longer.
don't
Thick.
know.
And why is it spelled with two C's?
In my mind, I was hoping you knew. I thought you were more like.
It really confuses me sometimes with these memes because I don't know if you watch the CS:GO
It
majors.
means chubby, but in a good way.
Chubby, but in a oh
Well,
man,
up,
these
Tros.
definitions are crazy. I had to look up the term "running a train" recently because I knew what it meant. I thought I knew what it meant, but in the CS:GO majors, one of the commentators said like VP is running a train on this other team. And I was like, wait, did he just say that this team is running a train?
Yeah, I
And
mean,
I
I
had to
know
go
what
to
that
Urban
means too.
Dictionary. I was like, I had to go to Urban. I was like, let me confirm this. I was like, holy shit. And I mean, I guess it's like a video game broadcast, so it's maybe
Okay.
less, PC. But okay, so who's my favorite? Thick, chubby in a good way? What? Um, let me look at the PoE channel list real quick. Um, Aluna Naughty.
Is that your final answer?
That's my final answer.
Okay.
That's all I can think of for the last 24 hours.
Oh, wow. Damn. Okay, right. Are you ready? The next question is by Uber Hasu. We're back to PoE. Are you excited? Can you
Ooh.
describe your process for starting a new league, picking your build, developing a currency build, and responding to meta changes? Meta.
Mhm. Sure, sure. So luckily they announced patch notes and all that stuff beforehand. So, we do a quick review. As long as anything drastic has not happened, I stick to the meta builds. And that's because I like killing monsters really fast. I like clearing the screen or as much of the screen as quickly as I can. So it's things like Vol Spark, Cosby's Discharge. Now I'm playing like Vol Ice Nova, stuff like that. And so my process is I look at those three builds and I think which one can I get going the fastest and which one do I know the best, like in
Mm-hmm.
terms of gearing, making money for it, what sells, what doesn't, what I can snipe on the trade website. And so I think about that, and usually it turns out to be false spark. Like, let's not kid ourselves. It's incredibly easy to get started,
Yeah.
unless you've like never played it in your life. Then it's maybe a little bit difficult. I'm sure you get questions like, "Hey, how do you afford sacrificial harvest? They're impossible to buy," and stuff like that. Developing a currency base for me, I'm not the best at both two of the aspects of this game, and that's mechanical skill, farming, endgame bosses. And I'm not really that good at trading, but luckily I have friends who are very good at those things, and they kind of help me out. It's like, hey, here are some things you might want to try with your certain build, and then past those two things, I just play a whole lot. Like
Mm-hmm.
efficiency and a fast clear speed build will carry you. If you don't re-roll characters, you'll be able to buy anything you want within a few weeks, right? I think you would agree. If you just
Yeah.
play a whole lot, you just have those items in the currency. And then responding to meta changes, luckily we've had two. Well, Volspark has gotten two massive nerfs, right?
Three.
Three, yeah. And so
Well, that's
luckily,
recently. It had more before too. It's had more in the past because it used to like
I mean,
shit out so many sparks it would
yeah,
disconnect
yeah,
entire parties.
yeah, like more projectiles, like no rearming,
Yeah,
travel time or duration. So anyway, so I think we're lucky in that if you are like me and you like to play AoE and fast clear speed, since Gigi has nerfed Cock Discharge, Cosprey's Discharge, Vol Spark so many times already, I feel like they won't be nerfed. So the meta
yeah,
changes don't really affect the stuff I like to play. But overall, it's important to think if you are playing something that gets like a shift, always test it out. Don't just like jump on the Reddit like bandwagon and be like, it's shit now. I can't play my build. Like when Seal Charge got nerfed, the
yeah.
AoE, and even Cosprey's discharge is still good because for 99% of the map, you're still clearing with shield charge and you're not discharging 4 times a second, even really, when you're shield charging. So,
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that I noticed like that was when it said Valspark has been nerfed in every single way. And I tested it on standard and I was like, fine, this is still great. And then I started playing and I remember I bought my first sack harvest on hardcore that league for 8 fusings for like 28 sack harvest. And I was like, hey, this is fantastic. I bought up a full sack harvest stuff and once I started streaming and people realized that it wasn't nerfed that hard, and I died and I had to reroll the same build again.
what else
The
is
next
new?
sack harvest was like 40C. I was like, great, fantastic.
You
So
were around for Voltaxic as well, right? I never
yeah.
played that. How's that?
So well, Taxi, even in that patch, it was still weaker than Sack Harvest with like an Inquisitor, but it was so cheap and like it was pretty defensive as well, and it could more importantly handle every single map mod. Like back then, it was sort of different where I don't know, it was like slightly harder to make currency in the at least for me personally. So having a chaos build that like, and especially when you're staying up that much, like I was still doing my 25, 26 hour sessions. So just taking all reflect out of the equation was really good back for me back then.
Hmm.
Yeah, no, I really liked Voltexi Spark, but it was still like not as strong as
Yeah, Inquisitor just makes Volspark pop off like so well. It's amazing how
yeah.
everything synergizes so well.
I remember I was just shocked the first time Inquisitor was buffed. I was like, but why? Because I was already fine, and then it randomly got buffed
But
with like the
why?
attacking cast speed stuff. I was like, no, why? Um, see. So the next question is another one about currency. Do you know it's by money bags? Do you know what's a good way to get currency in PoE? Like, do you know any good ways?
Yeah, the way that he asked the question probably makes it seem like he's a newer player, right? So I'll respond in that context. And if you're trying to get currency in PoE, the most important thing you do is just know different builds and know what you yourself look for when you play, XYZ build, because that'll allow you to set up, whoops on PoE trade.
Yeah,
It will allow you to very quickly know when you identify certain items early on if it will sell or not. So a lot of it is just playing. A lot of it is also asking a lot of questions. If you don't know something, it's okay to say you don't know how something works, and it's okay to feel maybe a little bit uncomfortable with certain mechanics and stuff, as long as you're like actively trying to improve your knowledge there. And so with currency, first and foremost is play a lot and play efficiently, and they're not the same thing, right? Because you
yeah.
can play a lot without playing efficiently, but playing efficiently translates to playing a lot because you're doing more things in the same or less amount of time. So those two things, if you can focus on those, and maybe like different streamers have different videos on that kind of stuff that you can watch. Watching videos is very important because some people are visual learners. Some people are like what is it when you learn from reading guides and stuff? I don't know what that's called,
Yeah,
but
me neither.
you know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
And so just keep trying to learn more about the game, keep playing the game more. And then what's the second part? Is crafting items worth possible profit, or is it more cost effective to buy and sell currency? So the crafting, I don't know anything about. That's one area where I am a complete noob.
Yeah.
I literally don't know anything about it. And the flipping currency just takes. You need to like probably find someone who has done it before, and they can kind of teach you the ropes. But it's just boring to me, so I don't know too much about that either. Um, but it's great that that's an option to have fun in the game, right? You can
But
sit in your hideout.
you feel like for like currency, like it just knowledge is so powerful compared to just like grinding your head at things and RNGing it out. Like just knowledge is the most important thing.
Knowledge is Yeah, definitely. I think so. Just playing a lot and having a good knowledge of like just the basic. You don't have to be, project PT, CRIP, spreadsheet levels of
Mm.
of analysis, right? You just have to know the basics and you have to know most importantly like the meta, right? Let's say you know that everyone's going to be playing Blade Vortex that one league. Well, then you should probably look up things like, what are Blade Vortex items, what are Blade Vortex jewels, enchantments, things like that, and then you can go from there. But it's kind of hard to answer. I think you would agree. It's hard to answer questions from a scope of a newer player because um, you can't hit them with everything
Yeah.
right? If your new friend starts playing for a week and they're like, Ziz, how do I play hardcore? What build should I go? You're not going to be like, okay, here's the skill tree, here's the gems you need, here's the items I'm going to give you. Go here, do this, download these programs, and you're not going to do that. You're going to be like, okay, what builds do you like? How are you going to play? And then here's like the basic mechanics. So you
Yeah.
have to like know people's limits.
And do you do you go out of your way to help new players level, or like what would you say is the target audience you focus on the most?
I'm sorry, what was that question again?
What would you say is like the target audience you focus on the most? Like, do you try to help new players, or do you just try to focus on entertaining, or?
I would say it's a focus more on community and entertainment. Like, when you come into the stream, if you watch for like, 5 minutes, you'll quickly understand that like my stream's not so much about PoE. Like PoE is the medium in which, we connect and we get to share
Mhm.
these things. But I would say it's more entertainment and community. And it's a place where you can just go and um, I guess like chill out for a while, right? You don't have to be like the best PoE player.
Yeah, no, for sure. I feel like entertainment is like the most important thing too. So, are you ready for a controversial question?
Yeah, let's do it.
This is by TS Havoc. Can the general comment on why he was using a banned PoE program as little as 3 months ago, well after he gained popularity as a PoE streamer? What was the talk with GGG like? Hey, I'm a popular streamer now, so don't ban, please? Question mark.
Yeah, yeah, good question. I talk about this on my stream quite a bit. 3 months ago, yeah, I started streaming like 3 or 4 months ago. But anyway, so if you know, I'm a big advocate of Baked Chicken. I used to watch his stream all the time. And when you play these crazy clear speed builds, right? It's one of the worst things in the game for anyone that's played is lag
Yep.
and stuff like that. So it started out, we're like, so you're saying I can't use Herald of Ice and Discharge and like all this stuff and it's gonna lag out my game? Well, what are some ways that we can reduce the lag? And in that chat, one we won't put the names of the programs just for posterity, okay?
Yeah.
But there was a certain program that was mentioned over and over, and I was like, you're saying that I can completely eliminate lag from my game by doing this? Fuck yeah, I'm gonna try that. I wasn't a streamer back then, right? So like I would try these programs and it's a slippery slope. So what happened is after Bake stopped streaming, what I would do is like my guild mates at the time would be like, okay, Bake's not streaming, but you play the same builds. Can you please like show us these builds? And I was like, yeah, sure. So I'll turn on the stream and we were like, okay, and then we played builds that had like, you had to piano some of your flasks and stuff, right?
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, I'm sure anyone who's played it knows who doesn't have, well, now you have things like a Naga mouse, scimitar, things like that. But before that, it was like at the end of a play session, your fingers would really hurt, right? And you'd be like, oh,
Yeah.
fuck, this really sucks. So how can I alleviate this finger pain and like carpal tunnel syndrome that I'm experiencing, right? So that's once again slippery slope. You
Yeah.
check out another program, and so it was never about like hiding it. I was never like using that to gain popularity or anything. I was very open. I would there would be times I'd have the stream open, the screen would be zoomed out like 10,000%, so that your character was like an ant in dried lake, and it was cool seeing like what you could push like the game towards and what was possible. And obviously now that we have viewers and stuff, it's not the right thing to do, right?
Yeah.
There all kinds of programs were being run on my stream. And so what happened is later on, I was playing one day and then it was like it kicked me out of the game and it was like your account has been suspended.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. I was like, oh shit. I was like, no, my MTX, please, please. And my first thought was like, I'm gonna lose my amaranthine gargoyle, my favorite pet. And so I emailed Gigi, and big shout out to Brian over at Gigi, who really was very cordial and patient with it. And he like walked me through the consequences and stuff, which is a private conversation between me and Gigi, and we had a discussion. And it wasn't, hey, I'm a popular streamer, because at that time I had what 50 to 100 viewers. It was nothing, and so do I regret it? At the time, no, because if I said I regretted it, it would just be regretting getting caught, right? And it was never
Yeah.
about that. It was never about I don't push ladder, right? I don't play hardcore. So it was all about having fun and convenience in the game, right? We were trying. It was coming from a place of like wonder, like what can we do with this game? Like you
Yeah.
could pick lightning tendrils, have Malachi's tentacles and shit like that. That was crazy, right?
Oh, that's pretty
And
cool.
so nowadays, we have more viewers. Everything we do on stream is, it's out in the open. So we obviously don't do that anymore. We can't support that at all on stream. Um, so
Fair enough. That's a
so
pretty good
don't do
answer.
it, guys. Don't do it, guys.
Drugs are bad. Kiwi drugs are bad. No, that's pretty good. Um, right. This is by Brahmin and Bacchus. I'm not sure if this is a in meme that I don't get, but I'm gonna ask it anyway because I'm curious.
Sure.
Could you please explain to viewers what the ancient crane technique and the drag and drop method is?
Yeah, sure. Ancient crane technique is just a method of getting your maps to the right side of the screen. So when you're mapping, I'm sure you fill up your inventory with maybe 10, 15 maps or whatever. And I was like, I'm sick of dragging it to the right side. So I just filled up my inventory with like 2x4 items and then like three belts.
Ah,
So that when I control click, all the maps go to the right side of the screen. And that helps because if they're on the left side, when you're picking up items, there is a chance that the maps that you pick up will touch the maps that you've rolled and are going to run. It's kind of annoying. But on the right side, it's less likely to do that.
cool. That is pretty
And
smart.
then,
What's the drag and drop?
yeah, drag and drop is kind of a meme. So someone linked me a Mathel clip where someone asked Mathel, "Why do you drag and drop your items?" And the word was drag and drop. And I was like, I read it as drag and drop, and Mathel goes, "It's because I'm eating a fucking banana." And so he only had one hand, right? But I watched the clip like three times. I was like, why is he saying drag and drop? Is that like the name of the item he's trying to trade? And it took me like forever to understand it. So now the drag and drop is just where when you're trading with someone, you don't control click, you left click and then drag it over.
That's pretty great, actually. So I've been asked this my entire stream today. So
Hmm.
I'm really fucking curious what the meme is. It's probably gonna be the last meme question. It's by
Sure.
KKFFOO. Who are your favorites besides Kimmy Granger? What's this Kimmy Granger thing?
Jimmy Granger is an adult actress. So in the same vein we were talking about
Oh,
like
right.
the
I instantly get it. Never
the
mind.
scripts and stuff like that. It was in the screenshot where it was like a download or something where it had the entire name
Right.
of the video.
I get it.
And we probably shouldn't talk about like the prawns too much, but
That's
it's just
funny.
at the time it was my favorite actress.
I see. I see. Okay. I've been asked the entire day. I'm
It's
so
totally
curious.
fine.
I should have
No,
just
it's totally
Googled it and
fine.
then I would have known. Um,
Yeah.
okay. So the next question is by Jolly Fox. This is a serious question too. How do you get in a good headspace for streaming? Like after having a bad day, what do you do to get in the streaming mood?
Hmm. Yeah, that's a really good question. Headspace. So I think if you're trying to make it more than a hobby, it's something that you've mentioned quite a few times when I watch your stream that if you don't show up for a stream, you are going to lose out on stuff, right? You're going to lose out on people enjoying your stream. You're going to lose out on like, the metrics that you gain for having it on for several hours. So it's weighing that against what you would otherwise be doing. And for me, it's kind of like this. I sit at my computer and I go, should I start streaming? Well, what would I be doing instead?
Yeah.
I would be playing PoE. So I just click that start stream button, and then I realized that I have enough good memories with the people uh, in my stream that would overweigh any kind of bad day that I've had. But I don't know what his like experiences are. If you had like a really shitty day, I mean, I can't make those value judgments for.
Yeah. Has there ever been like days where you've had like a really bad day and you're like, no, just I'm not streaming today. Today's not today.
Let me think. I would say no. I get asked a lot of time, like, why are you so happy all the time? And for me, it's always like, my method, I'm always happy because like my method of it is being consciously gracious of everything that you have, right? And that means, you wake up in the morning and you have your own place. How amazing is that? You have a job. Like for you, it's streaming. That's
Mm.
awesome too. But you're employed. That's amazing. You're not suffering in any way. You have friends and family that care about you. How lucky are you to live in a place that is, or a country that's like, basically free. Well, now we have Trump, but, um, so you think about all these little things that you should be gracious for, and that really, gets you jazzed up. So, mm, I don't really ever have bad days.
Oh,
Yeah. Well, when people make fun of my eyebrows, I have really, really bad
aw,
moments.
you have
But
great eyebrows. Great
thank you.
eyebrows. Okay, so I actually saw a great question in that I liked by Yoji in chat. And it was who are the other pillars of the community besides me, of course, by Yoji.
Sure. Oh, the pillars of the community. Yeah, this is if I had to just say people that contribute to the atmosphere of the PoE community, it would be you, Mathel, Yoji, Hedgie, PT, Lifting. There's a lot of other people. Who are like the OGs? Who are the other OGs that we can think of? Oh,
Rice.
Ziggy, Rise QT, Mr. Kappa Pride himself, and basically any of the OGs that people watch to get into PoE, right? I hear a lot of times like I got into PoE because of Crip. Oh, Crip. Oh yeah,
Ito.
Crip. Etup, yeah, right. There's always these people that you watch that get you more jazzed about PoE or get you started playing the game. Like I see in your chat, you have people that are like, I just started playing this game because I saw you on the PoE website. And so, yeah, Noogie, like all these people,
Yeah,
Havoc.
Noogie.
So,
Havoc, yeah. Oh wow, I almost forgot Havoc. He was actually he's to me now. Ah, darn. Yeah, no, it's like it's a really good community as well. I've always seen this is something we talked about a little bit before as well, but like both of us, we generally host other people. And I've seen in quite a
mhm.
lot of other streamer communities, I see so many people are like, okay guys, bye, I'm logging off now, and then it's just like stream
Yeah,
blank. Whereas
it's great.
most
Yeah,
people that I see in PoE, they're like, okay, who are we gonna host?
yeah, it's
It's
fantastic.
something I
It's
haven't seen anywhere else.
Yeah, it's awesome that you do that because especially, you're a big boy. So you get those like 2,000 viewer hosts and that really does, it costs you nothing, right? And when I would consider other, and I'm sure you would consider other PoE streamers your
Yeah,
colleagues, right?
definitely.
And it costs you nothing to build that relationship or to send your viewers that way, but it means so much. It means the world to them. So why not? Why not do that?
Yeah. No, because like there are obviously a lot of I've heard some people who are talking about streamers more like direct competition and stuff,
Mhm.
but especially the way I look at it is if the only reason I have viewers is that there is no other option, then maybe I should be focusing on improving the quality of my stream. So that's like my approach to it. And definitely why I look at other PoE streamers like colleagues instead.
Of course, of course. It's always, and Hedgie's commented. I've talked to him about this because there's always like people like trash talking other streamers and stuff, and it's okay not to like everyone. It's okay to be outraged that this Asian streamer used autobots and stuff, and it's okay to be outraged that this other streamer is view botting. That's fine. It's okay not to like everyone. It's just like in real life, but it's good to have different people that you can watch at any
Yeah.
one time. That's how your community grows overall as a game.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's a very diverse community as well, like very different people.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
Next question is by Brian's Brain. Do you think CI will get nerfed by the time the next thing is out, or do you think it will come down to if they'll bring life in line with CI instead?
hmm I don't think CI will get nerfed, at least nothing drastic that will cause an uproar. And the reason I think that is first, they've tested something already with the energy from within, right? And that's maybe their feeler to see, all right, how Chris is like sitting on Reddit, like refreshing the new button. He's like, how many Reddit posts are we going to get about this, right? But then they've also said that things that reduce clear speed or reduce a certain part of a build by too much, it loses them players, right? It
Mm,
costs them
yeah.
certain parts of the player base. And because of this, I think they're going to be very cautious. If they do anything, it's going to be announced maybe months in advance, or there's going to be great forewarning. Maybe they start like nerfing the little middle scion thing, or they nerf like the little the Witch supercluster or whatever. I don't know,
Oh
but
yeah, Scion. Or Scion.
yeah.
Um, forgot that existed for a second. Next question is by Rafiki. What's your favorite build so far?
Favorite build overall has been it's probably Vol Ice Nova. I always find myself going back to it. As you know, I love MTX. I love things that clear the whole screen. And if you haven't seen Ice Nova in all of its forms, Arctic Ice Nova and Water Ice Nova, it's extremely beautiful. And it's a little bit it's a little bit laggy. All right, it's like a PowerPoint build, but that has been my favorite. I find myself going back to it when I run out of builds that I find interesting or that I want to play.
Huh. We tried Val Fireball.
I have tried Vol Fireball. The reason I don't like that is because I use the Dragon Fireball
Yeah,
MTX, and when that
it
explodes, there's
hurts.
this like flare
Yeah,
that the regular one doesn't have, and then also it's like a spinning thing, so it's not an instant 360 AOE.
yeah. I don't know why. For me, like Val Fireball was easier to play than just Selfcast Fireball, but I actually had like real eye pains the first day of
Hmm.
playing Val Fireball. I was or in Selfcast Fireball with the Dragon MTX. I was like, this actually hurts. My eyes
Yeah,
are actually sore. It's just like you're getting repeatedly flashbanged in Counter Strike.
it's
It's
so
like
bad.
thump,
It's
thump,
so
thump.
bad.
And I was looking
Hey,
at
you
my
play,
webcam and you see the flashes and stuff, and I'm like, this actually hurts.
dude. I mean, you played old pre MTX Discharge, right?
Yeah. That was not as flashy though.
Mm,
Because
it's
that's a
pretty
small,
bright. The blue
flashy.
one, the
It's a
the blue
small
power
flash in the
charge.
middle of your screen, though. Val Fireball with
Okay.
proper AoE is like your entire screen with these massive, flary. Nah, dude, it's way different.
It is, yeah, it's I don't know what it is about that the dragon fireball, and especially when you add things like the rolling flames and stuff
Yeah.
like that, it really does like obliterate your screen. It's like a weird flare.
It
Ugh,
looks
I
like
don't
you
like it.
get
I don't want to think about it.
400% in KoE from the MTX.
Hmm.
I it,
400%?
it feels like that. It's unplayable without it. I just cannot not use it. It just feels like it's a stronger build.
Yeah, true. I agree with you.
See. Oh, this is by a Josnik. General, which out of the two of you is the better Valsparker?
Well, I think by default, I play on softcore, which means you can go full potato and use, more DPS and more risky, faster builds. So if you're talking from a standpoint of like clear speed and I guess damages utility, it would be mine. But in hardcore, there's something to be said about that as well. So there's no better. It's just for what your play style is.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like that's something that gets overlooked a lot. A lot of people always be looking at the best, whereas I feel like it's very important to tailor it to how you play.
Of course.
Especially, for example, I got a lot of shit a lot of the time for playing Coctis versus Trickster just for the little extra ES, but obviously I look at Twitch chat a lot more and stuff.
Hmm.
So I have to factor that in for my survival or inevitable death.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta do certain things, and I obviously don't play hardcore. Surprise, surprise, chat. But it's so I don't know the considerations you have to take to first, hit a level where you can equip your gear,
Mhm.
and then from there, maybe get a little bit more
Have
survivability.
you ever tried playing a hardcore character at all?
Last league, Hedgie was kind enough to gear out like a leveling character for me. He gave me like a lot of cool stuff, and I got it to level 28 without dying, of course. And I just felt bad. I don't know. It was just like the danger was always there because I've always said I'm not the best player. I just am able to play a lot, and so playing with that level of care, I guess, or paying attention and not being able to look at your Twitch chat as much wasn't worth the trade off for me. I don't know how you feel. Do you ever feel like you look at your Twitch chat and you look back and you're like, oh shit, the danger,
Yeah,
you
no,
know?
I definitely die a lot more. Ever since they took out Twitch chat from in-game, I died a lot more. Like I didn't die that much in the first like 3 months of me streaming compared to like lately. And it's definitely like
Mhm.
looking at chat. And then I'm a lot more reckless now as well, I'd say. But I just there was something you said that triggered an idea in my mind. I'm actually gonna challenge you now with all these people watching to something to do for a few days. few days
Yeah.
before the league ends. So I was thinking, how about both you and me get an Xbox controller? We use 4 potions, and we do you and me found on hardcore for a few days.
We
No
could
logout
play
macro.
with the controller?
Yeah.
Wow. I thought like Sifarian had an actual controller like made for it or something. Is he
No,
just using Xbox one?
just a normal Xbox controller.
Because
You
I
and
have one right
oh
here.
god, I actually have
I
to
actually
buy
have
one.
one right here.
I actually have to buy one.
Yeah, we could do
Four
that. Last few
potions,
days of the
no
week,
logout
last week of the week.
macro. I was thinking maybe like if we want to log out, we have to say like Xbox logout or something. But
Xbox logout.
yeah, voice command logout macro.
Yeah, we could do it. But like, okay, hold on. You get 4 skills. No, I guess you get 6. Yeah. I'll have to ask Safarian how he
Yeah,
does his
yeah, we'll
setup,
figure it
but
out. I think it'll be cute. 4 potions. We try not to die.
I mean, yo, we're just gonna be doing like Act One, trying to get to Mervale over and over because you're gonna get there, and I'm just gonna die along the way. And you're like, okay, fine, I'll make a new character with
Fine,
you.
it's fine. We'll go like
It's
slower.
fine.
We'll go like we'll take our time. We'll have an Xbox loot filter and everything.
That's funny. Yeah, I'm down for that. That sounds like a very good idea.
Wait, I'm hype. I'm hype. Next question is by Scrub Zol. What was the first cosmetic MTX purchase you made, not counting stuff that came with the pack?
I think I bought Stash Tab Premium Stash Tabs. At first, I wasn't too much into the MTX when I first started playing, and the reason was the game looked like shit. Like I remember coming from Diablo, and I started playing because Crip introduced it. Right, I was like, okay, fine. I enjoy watching Crip. Maybe I'll play along so I can like be part of that community.
Cool.
And I was like, this game looks so bad. It's so unsmooth. Why is it that like, I'll use a skill and then 3 seconds later I'll teleport across the screen back to where I was? And I'm like, oh my gosh. So I didn't support any of the flashy MTXs because I didn't really care too much. But mm, I think the first flashy one I bought that wasn't in a pack was some kind of portal. I want to say that's you can see that on every character, right? No matter how good or bad they look.
Cool. I don't remember what my first MTX was. Probably just stash tabs, yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
everyone's stash tabs.
yeah, it's sort of. You ever feel like it's sort of mandatory to have premium stash tabs to play?
I'm a lazy player, so yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think just the fact that you right click your item, and it's good for new players because you right click it, there's a drop down list. It takes what 5-10 seconds to figure out, and you're done. Whereas explaining someone, hey, here's acquisition, and here's you need this code to post to the forum, and then like it's awful. I really dislike the whole you have to go to like this other website to
Yeah.
trade and stuff like that. It's a nightmare.
Same. I mean, I'm hoping they'll put it in game eventually. But anyway, speaking of, so the next question is by Freezer699. General, do you think PoE is in a good state at the moment? If not, what are the biggest changes you feel need to happen?
Yeah, I think PoE is a very good state right now. There's more content than ever, with the leagues. Like what other game can you say that has content updates every, what is it, 2.5, 3 months,
Yeah.
constant patching, things like that. That there's a lot of like Reddit bandwagon stuff that like, oh, this is shit, or like this is too good. And if they're talking about was the question, how would they make it? How would I make it
What
better, or
would the
how would I change
biggest
it?
changes you would make?
Okay. I think it would have to be mm, either bringing in new skills, because I understand like changing some of the old skills isn't feasible, but either bringing in a lot more skills, because that's what everyone plays for, right? You see a new
Yeah.
announcement like Blade Flurry, you get so jazzed, You see a new act and having like more zones to go into, that's pretty cool as well. I mean, as long as they bring a dried lake area to Act 5, I'll be happy, right? Because like I was wondering, I was like, what do people do if there's no dried lake in Act 5? But
Yeah.
I disagree with any kind of nerfing, right? Because there's only a few things you can do in this game, right? You can like clear maps, you can make your character more powerful, you can level up, or I guess there's like also trading, right? And a lot of the things I hear about nerfs is it goes like this, right? They're like X build is too strong, so it should be nerfed, right? Without taking account like what does it actually do well? Does it clear maps well? Does it
Yeah.
do end game content well? And then, if someone spends the time and the money on a build to make it good, and you ask Yi like, "Hey Chris, someone who spends 3 weeks playing a single character, should they have a powerful character that can do everything and just destroy the content?" I think they would say yes, right?
Yeah.
And then along with that, another thing is like the trading. So there are people like, for example, like one of my friends, Holtzen in game, he's the person who posted like voling 130 presents of Chayulas or something. There are people in this game that have like stacks on stacks of mirrors, right?
Yeah.
And having money in this game equates to having power because you can buy the best items, and now through trading, you can have the most overpowered character in the game. So should they nerf trading somehow so that people who flip currency in their hideout can't do it as easily because they can buy
Yeah.
every Gigi build there is? So I'm against nerfs. I'm against introducing newer content, new skills, and hopefully maybe bringing some of the old skills back.
Cool. Do you feel like every skill has to be balanced? Like, do you feel like, let's say Ancestral Protector. Like, I feel like Ancestral Protector is a great traveling skill until you get War Chief. Do you feel like every skill should have the same potential to be usable end game, or do you feel like some are just okay as traveling skills?
Yeah, I think there's like some starter builds that are fine, and it's okay to have certain things weaker, right? Because that's how
Mhm.
that's how you feel good. If everything was the same, then it'd be less rewarding. It's kind of like with the item drops. Like in the past, you drop a shavs, and you'd be like, oh my god, this is a shav. How lucky am I? Now I can make these crazy builds. It should be that same feeling where when you get the currency to make a cost priest discharger, or if you just want to farm currency, let's say you want to make a Vol Sparker, when you finally get those pieces together, I think you should feel the weight of the work that you've put in, right?
Yeah. No, I agree. Do you feel like did you play a lot back when like Shavs and Mjolnir were worth like fuck tons, or did you play after the rarity nerf?
Yeah, I played it at a time, but I was mm, until I started playing, or I'm sorry, until I started watching like Baked Chicken, I didn't
Yeah.
realize what was possible in the game. Like
Yeah.
I thought that Flame Totem was the best build. I was like, yeah, I got my +1 Infernal Mantle with my level 4 Empower with my flame totem. I thought I was like the shit, and that's a big issue with this game. New players, they don't know what they don't know,
Yeah.
and so I see Cock Discharge and I see Volspark. I'm like, what is this game? And so and so it's things like that that really that's like I guess that's part of the great part of the game, right?
Yeah. Sure. Do you feel like there should be more items like that again? Like not exactly mirror tier rarity, but like close to, so you get more like, holy fuck, they may call my mom. I just found a yeah.
Yeah, I think the mechanics like that, like the chase items and the chase like mechanics, are there. It's like the little Skinner box thing, right? I think you have to have it in your game if you want people to like keep playing for long hours. But I enjoy it because as long as it's not a stat increase, like I'm sure you've heard about ancient items in Diablo 3, right?
Yeah.
When you have just pure power creep in that way, then the game dies after a week, right? In Diablo, you play for a week, you get all your ancient items, you can't really improve. There's no new mechanics past the meta that you can try, and that's how your game dies. So as long as they introduce new cool items that have this like wow factor that aren't just like a stat increase or that makes you do like bajillion damage, kill a boss in one hit, then yeah, I think it should be okay.
Oh, I want more chase items as well. Like,
Yep. Would you say you've gotten like what, like 4 or 5 shavs in the last few
7.
days, right? 7 shavs. So I mean,
This is
are
my
you
first league
excited
ever
about
of
that?
getting a shaft. See, the thing is, I think I'm more excited for H1 now, just because it's so ludicrous, right? Because this is my first league ever getting a shaft. I got one in Parandas, but it's from Kadiro, so it doesn't fucking count. 'Cause it's just like, it was just like, here, do you want a
Yeah.
headhunter? Do you want a mirror? Do you want a shafts? No problem, we got you. So it doesn't really count. But this league, like, I found my first one in Oasis, just farming, and I was like, oh my god, this was the last unique, by the way, that I haven't found, I think.
hmm
Oh, actually, Chevron's ring as well. but like it was one of the last things in the game for me to find. And then I started doing the like super MFing thing in Breach, and it was like shavs, 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 and I was like,
Yep.
what the fuck? And I was comparing shavs to sex earlier. It's like no matter how many times the shavs drop, just as exciting each time. Just it's so great. It's such a good feeling, and
Yeah.
it just gets better every time. Like two of them were chanced, and I also do play it slightly differently, obviously, because I'm a streamer. So if I wasn't a streamer, when I found a 6 socket occultist vestment, I probably wouldn't have gone, hey, let's use 200 or 300 scour chance on this. But I was like, fuck, but if I actually do YOLO chance this, then it'll be a really good highlight. And then I found another one, right? Yesterday. And I was like, you know
That's
what? You know,
crazy.
it'd be really fucking funny if I chanced another one. So I was about to start chancing, and then I was like, but I could maybe see if there's a six thing one for sale instead. That makes more sense than six thinking it after. So I managed to buy one for 70 chaos, and then I used 1,000 scour chances on it, which is still worth it because it is on a six thing.
Yeah. See, the thing I'm not familiar with is hardcore economy. So, like for me, if I were to see a shaft, yes, it's exciting for that stream value because people have gone like years without finding a shafts, right? And you go to PoE trade and you're like, oh, I'm rich. I got my items. And you look at it, it's like two exalts. You're like, no, no, it feels so bad. But on hardcore, is the shaft still trading
20x.
20x? Oh man.
That's for six thing though.
Time to move to hardcore, I guess.
Yeah, no, like it is very exciting every time. So I've been very. See, I still get excited when I find a Mjolnir as well. It is
Hmm.
5 chaos, but I know it's tier 1 rarity. Like, this is a fucking rare
Yes.
item. I found 2 Mjolnirs in one breach. So I was like, fuck! Why? Why is this so rare? But it's worth nothing. So I animated one of them. I was like, look at it go! Look
Oh,
at it go kill
jeez.
things. Yeah, no, that was sort of sad. So it's been like with the breach thing, it's been like and the reason I've been doing it so much as well is because breach isn't it's not guaranteed that we're gonna have it in the game. They might be like, oh, this is such an overwhelming mechanic that we're gonna remove it. So I've been like doing the shit out of this.
Hmm. I think it's with some of these items, what's an item right now that um, captures that old school feel of Wonder? It's probably a Headhunter, right?
Yeah,
It's
Skyforce.
very few things. Yeah, it's Skyforce and it's Headhunter, and it's like, oh man, if only there were more. And I guess it's just up to people to spend that $1,000 and just make those new
Yeah.
chase uniques.
See, because you were saying you were designing unique. I think the only thing holding me off it is I love buying the Peewee points as well, and you don't get any
Mm,
points when you design a unique.
true.
Which yeah. So I'm sort of hoping the next supporter packs will have like a really big thing, like design something special. Then I'll probably jump on that because then you get points too, because you
Yeah,
used to get that.
you have div card though, right?
Yeah, I don't know what to make anymore. I was gonna do tier 4 talisman, and then I saw the
Okay,
rarity of the tier 1 talisman. I did like 10 to 20 graveyards, and I got one card, and I was like, if the tier 1 is this fucking rare, I don't want to farm a tier 4. Because it's a
true.
corrupted item too. It's so hard to get a rare one. I feel like they fuck up the rarity of their corrupted items. Because it
Yeah.
is so rare.
I think part of it is you design these things, you want people to see them, right?
Yeah.
You want people to look at that and be like, oh, look at that, a Skyforce, or like, oh, look at that, Ziz's divination card for I don't know what your thing would be, but yeah, the T4 talisman, or like people would know that that was yours. That's part of the decision making process
Black math.
when you reflect math.
I end up with that at this point. Yeah. Um. Yeah. The next question is by 2 OP for you. Reflect my movie, right though.
Yeah,
Um.
corrupted though, so you can't re-roll it.
Yeah. Oh, actually, that's a great idea. Can you ask General Tsos about some rock climbing facts?
Oh yeah.
You rock climb?
Uh, no, once again, it's another meme where
Oh,
there's it's always the meme of that I'm gay for Mathel, and yes, it is just a meme. It's not has no basis in reality, but the idea was that hey, General Tso's chicken, you should go to Wikipedia, become an expert in rock climbing and bouldering. And then what we'll do, the viewers, is we will ask new questions about rock climbing and bouldering. And you can answer them, because if there'll be too many questions going off for Mathel to answer, and so no, I'm not I didn't follow through with that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought you rock climbed there for a second. I actually used to do rock climbing a bit.
All the Kappa prides come out in chat.
Um, okay, there's a few meme questions. We're gonna skip a few of them now because there's
Sure.
quite a lot of questions.
Yeah, I see that.
Um, see, had to scroll down here. Wow, that's a lot of meme questions. Okay, so this is a question by Toku. I always call him Toku, but it's Toku Gavalalayasu 1998. General, do you lift? If so, how often do you lift and what are your maxes?
Sure. I've been lifting off and on for the last almost 2 years now. And when PoE comes out with a new league, I stop for like 2 or 3 months.
Two or three
To
months.
yeah, to the chagrin of my lady. But it's really bad because I get so jazzed. I want to play. I don't sleep, and if I can't sleep, I don't have energy to go to the gym. But how often I'm on a push pull legs split, which just means all the push muscles one day, pull muscles, and then legs, and then a day of rest, and then you repeat it. And what are your maxes in the big three? Right before breach, I've never maxed out on a single rep besides the deadlift. Deadlift was at 550 pounds. Divide that by 2.2 for kilograms. And then the bench, nothing too impressive, 225 pounds by 5. And then the squat, 365 pounds by 3, ass to grass, of course, going down all the way. So,
Oh,
yeah.
I work out loads too, by the way. Just no, JK.
Oh, I've seen, yeah, yeah. Sometimes I click into your channel. I'm like, this isn't lifting there, bro. But I stay anyways
Yeah.
because Ziz effect and all.
This effect. Yeah, stayed for this effect, right? Next question is by Gislasa. It seems like there are not a lot of mechanisms in the game to promote social gaming. Do you have any tips on how to develop an online group to PoE with?
hmm I might not be the best person to ask this because I despise group play. I get offered a lot of aura bots. I'm sure you do as well. But I actually don't like the fact that when you're in a group, you're always beholden to
Yeah.
someone else's, trades, or they have to go get a drink and they have to go, do something, and then you have to do that as well. Then now you're infringing on their time. So I would never take advantage of these systems, but maybe there should be something for new players, right? Like they've done a good job with like removing things like trade chat from the default. What if they added like a default chat for if you mark like you're a new or casual player, maybe you could go into
Yeah.
like a certain group, discuss, and there'd be like admins in there. But then again, I think that's just like Reddit and that's like, Discord servers and stuff. So I really don't have any good ideas there.
The Azarez or something. It was one of my new subs was asking if I had any ideas for programs to develop. You know what we need is PoE Tinder. Have like a picture of your
Tinder.
character, your skills. You have like Valspark or like Guardian and like level 85 doing breaches played for 2 years and like a short description. And you're like, swipe, it's a match. Like you
I
have
was
to like has your ping and stuff. It'd be great. We need a PoE Tinder.
Ooh. Yeah, I thought you were talking about real Tinder as in like it's just for PoE players. So like you could connect online. Like the basis of it would be you had to play PoE, and then other than that,
Oh,
it's just regular Tinder.
no, no, no. I
But
meant for grouping.
yeah, maybe that'll work. PoE grinder more like according to
Yeah.
the chat. It'd just all be dudes, so it'd be more like grinder.
So there's been this is by I'd say like 50 to 60 people have been asking various of questions of are you gay or do you have a girlfriend? So a lot of people are curious about that.
Yeah, so in real life, I am not gay. I live in a very gay-friendly city, Chicago. I'm only a few minutes away from this place called Boys Town, which is like, you guess by the name what it is. But I do have a lady of quality that I met at work, and I actually swayed her over, and she agreed to go on a date with me initially because of my Path of Exile MTX. There's
Oh.
a story on my YouTube. Basically, I was trying to meme it up, and I sent her three friends screenshots of my character in different MTX, asking them, which outfit should I wear if I see Jody this weekend? And they sent those text screenshots to her, and she found it endearing, and
Aw.
so it worked out. Yeah.
Very sweet. How long have you been dating?
Um, little over half a year, I'd say. I can't really remember the exact. It's been a while though. Like for me, like 6, 7, 8 months is a long time. So it's been going very well, and maybe I'll even be married in the next like year or two. It's looking
Aw.
pretty. Yeah.
You're glowing. It's great. I'm happy for you, dude.
Sorry,
So
Mathel.
so does she approve of Path of Exile and streaming, or how does she feel about stuff like that?
Yeah, yeah. She doesn't mind it. She's not how do I say this? She's not like tech illiterate, but if I were to say I stream video games, she wouldn't know what that means, and she wouldn't know how to like Google it to find me on Twitch, thankfully. Um, but I think it's all about how you present yourself. And I think you can relate to this. If you're passionate about something and you really enjoy something, that's gonna like pervade every part of your life. And you don't want to hide that from anyone.
Yeah.
So it's important just to find the people that support that. And if you're confident about something and you show your genuine passion in a non like, like neckbeardy way, other people will pick up on that, and it's very rare that someone would react to that negatively.
Does Mathil know about this? Like, have you told him or?
No, no.
Okay.
I'll break it to him later. I'm looking at prices to tickets to Adelaide. It's a little bit pricey, so I have to like plan it out a little bit in advance. I want to tell him in person. It's not polite to do these things over
Okay, no, that's
Skype.
fair. That's very respectful. So, next question is by Bone Crusher. I guess we can all agree that the decline of Diablo 3 increased the player base of PoE. What I want to ask you is, what is your opinion on PoE streamers that strongly stated that D3 players are shit?
Well, it's a common thought because if you've played Diablo 3, there's not as much depth as PoE, that's safe to say, and also it's a little bit more mindless than
Mhm.
PoE overall. Like obviously, cock discharge, things like this, pretty mindless as well. But overall, the game of PoE has much more depth. It's better mechanics and things like that. So like I've always said, it's okay not to like a certain game. It's okay not to like a certain community. Maybe like the personal attack like that is a little bit unfounded because there's Empyrean Gaming. I'm sure you know he's a
Mhm.
Diablo 3 player, does very well, has done very well on the Diablo 3 ladder, and he comes over to PoE for the first time, first league ever, Breach League, and he gets to 100.
Hmm.
And that's incredible, right? So I think if Diablo players come over and they like what they see within a little bit of time investment and a little bit of no lifing, they too can enjoy the superior game.
Cool. How much time did you spend playing Diablo 3?
I played it, let's see. I took off, I think, 2 weeks of work when it first came out to no life it. Obviously, like the first week was like that Air 1033 or whatever, but I played it for, I want to say, 6 months, and then I quit.
Hmm.
And then Reaper of Souls, when that got announced, I came back and I played that when seasons got announced. I would play for a week per season for the first 5 seasons until I got bored. And
Cool.
that's a huge issue with that game. You get
Yeah.
so bored so fast.
Yeah, for sure. No, I've stopped like ages ago, but that was getting like that for me as well.
Yeah.
Next question is by Osna523. Did you get a haircut just for this AMA?
Oh, me? My haircut? I thought people were asking you that.
All
I
right, I thought
think
it's for
it's
you.
I think with the cam is like zoomed in right now. Usually on my stream the cam is like 30% this size.
Mhm.
So you only get the outline, but no, I haven't got a haircut in several weeks, I
Yeah,
think.
I mean, I did get a recent haircut. Could be for me. It's just not really. I'm just guessing every question's for you. Okay, next question is by Grantu. Are there no-goes for streamers? If so, what are those?
No goes as in like if you're trying to start streaming or what? Is that like from their perspective or
Oh no,
okay?
I think it's just in general, like things you cannot do as a streamer, you would say.
I've from my experience, I've found that you shouldn't initially you shouldn't go too hard into the controversial politics
Hmm.
I'm sorry, controversial topics of politics. I've talked about a whole spectrum of things, like, sex, what's the other big things, religion, politics. And out of all of these things, politics always gets the chat so messed up. Like everyone's like at each
Yeah.
other's throats. It's a bad feeling for the streamer. It's a bad feeling for everyone else. Um, so I'd say stay away from that kind of stuff. And then as for streaming, it's important just to be as genuine as you can, right? People aren't retarded. They pick up on social cues. Well, most people do pretty easily. And if you're, if you're being like too big or you act a certain way just for the stream, uh, it's not too healthy for the community, I don't think, for your community, right? They
Yeah.
want someone that's there just to like do their thing in a genuine way.
Yeah, that's why I try to avoid like all real life topics like that because I feel like people come for fun and memes. Fun and memes.
Would you say that people like, let me ask you this. Let's say out of everyone that's watching your chat right now, do they come for Zizaran, the hardcore player? Do they want to see some hardcore gameplay, or do they actually come to the stream for Zizaran, the gentleman, the actual person? What would you say your split is?
I'd say 85% are watching because they want to watch me die. Well, I mean, I do
85%.
retain quite a lot when I play even different games. And even like if I'm playing softcore between league ends. So I'm not sure. I don't know. That's a hard question to answer. Like when I was playing horror games and stuff, I still had over like 800, 900 watching, which I was pretty happy with. Just trickle down. Obviously, you get less. It's not so much that people instantly leave when you're switching games as well. It's about you're not getting that influx of new players because you have people leaving all the time. Like, say you're staying around 1,500 or
Mhm.
something, you have people joining and leaving and keeping you around 1,500. If you switch game, what you'll have is you'll mostly have those people that would be leaving anyway, leaving. And there'll be people who are like, fuck this shit, I'm out. But yeah, definitely a lot of people like watching death and stuff.
Yeah. You got Yoji in the chat saying, I think Ziz's gameplay is boring, but he is a cool dude.
Wow.
You know, PoE,
Wow.
PoE, we have to admit, PoE gets pretty boring. Let's not lie. The content after a few months, it is, uh, it's kind of snooze sometimes, but it's still a great game.
I'd say in like the start 2 3 weeks, a lot of people watch for like ladder pushing and more competitive things like that, and maybe more deaths. And then after a while, I'm hoping people are staying because they're enjoying the positive atmosphere and stuff like that. I hope maybe.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Next question is by Punkwar for both of you. Do you guys prefer to play a face roll build that clears it all, or a build with a skill slash mechanic that you like?
I'll let you go first, sir.
Um, I generally prefer. I think I wasn't really sure about this. It was Noogie that really drove the point home, and he said, "Ziz, I don't think it really matters what you play as long as it's really strong. I think you'll enjoy anything as long as it's really strong." And I'm not 100% sure on that yet. I don't think if I would enjoy Righteous Fire. I don't know. There's just something about it I really hate. But most things that I've thought I wouldn't like, I've been like, oh no, this is really strong and I like it. It's clearing fast. So probably more towards the face roll. I like
Yeah,
feeling like a god in a game. That's the fun thing for me. You put in all that currency and suddenly you're like, whoo, I can kill lots of
yep,
things.
absolutely agree. I prefer face roll. You know, I like to log in and know that my character is going to feel powerful. Or at the beginning of the league, I like to log in knowing that eventually my character is going to be quite powerful. So, and there's no reason why those two things are mutually exclusive, right? The
Yeah.
skill mechanic and face roll. Like, even take something that people are like, oh, a resident sleeper, cast on crit discharge, or Cosprey's discharge. first there's the cast on crit, or like the trigger mechanic is pretty interesting for
Yeah.
this game. And then like I don't think Diablo has that. And then there's the factor you have to choose what skill do I link to it, right? That's another decision. And then the mechanic of how do I get enough crit to reliably trigger this, and like things like Vol's Devotion, like
Yeah.
think about that amulet. You're like,
I
oh
love it.
man, like at first you look at the amulet like, okay, cool. But then like you realize with these, when all these things come together, it is a very
Solid
cool
mechanic.
mechanical
Yeah.
skill. Yeah, and it clears the entire screen. But another thing I played this league was Scold's
Mm.
Bridle with Zerfie's Last Breath to trigger everything once again, but it was on cast when damage taken, and that pretty much cleared the entire screen as well. But that was a cooler mechanic because it relied on jewels, the Scold's Bridle helm, and the mana flask. So no reason that those things should be mutually exclusive.
Yeah, no, I think we're very lucky to have that. There's not a lot of games, like if you say Grim Dawn and stuff, they don't really, at least from what I have only played it like 30, 40 hours, obviously. But there's so many other games that have no mechanics like that where you actually have in-depth items working with each other in combos. It's really cool.
Yep, agreed.
Okay, next question by So Opera. What is your favorite build of all time?
This one all time
Yep,
has to be Vol Spark. You get those juicy spiders, spewing all over the screen. Oh, feels so good.
I thought that would be it.
Crunchy crits. Yeah. What about you?
I think just Cyclone.
Like vanilla, like
Vanilla
the
Cyclone
actual
from
attack?
Tempest. It's so chill. There's just something about it. It's not the strongest, but like I don't know. It's so much nostalgia for me as well to going back to Tempest when I was grinding on my level 98, and it was so tanky. Like by the way, I had no damage on this build at all,
Mhm.
right? And it was so tanky, and it was just nice. It was so easy to read chat. I couldn't really die except while grouping with Danish people, and it's just a nice, positive, wholesome experience. And then
Mhm.
later on, when I sort of improved on that and went for like the whole like max AoE at the time, like way before Dying Sun and shit Cyclone with the Slayer and my disfavor, I was like, oh, it's just so much fun. Everything's just dying and it was great. I really, really enjoyed it.
Hey, I mean, to each his own. I think back then, well, like I said, I played Flame Totem, so I can't really talk. But looking back, I don't think like the old meta of skills is very pleasing.
I don't know. There's something just relaxing about like the thump, 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 thump of Cyclone. I just like it. I can't help it.
You ever play Wrath of the Wastes on a barbarian in Diablo 3?
No.
It's basically, you know how like Diablo 3's Whirlwind, it allows you to move while you're channeling the skill, so it's like
Hmm.
smoother. If they brought that mechanic into Path of Exile where you could move, change direction, stop cycling at any time, oh
Yeah.
man, I'd probably play that. That would feel
Yeah,
good.
I feel like the Cyclone mechanic can be worked on a bit, but I really enjoyed it.
Mhm.
Um, right. Next question is by Blue Hawk Down. What is your opinion on Pee-wee 3.0 and the league in between?
I was a little bit disappointed that 3.0 wouldn't be the next league. But from the trailer, and I get hyped about things from videos and stuff. Did you see the trailer? It was unbelievable.
Hmm.
I was so jazzed. A little cinematic intro with like dominoes at the beginning. I was like, okay, let's go next league. And then they were like, there will be an in between league for 3 months or whatever. I
Yeah.
was so sad. I was so sad, but I'll play it,
Yeah.
because there's one thing that Chris said, and that was he said, this league will be a good way to wrap up all the content or something like that until 3.0. And so maybe it'll be something really crazy. So,
Yeah. So I was sort of disappointed like you as well because I was really expecting a new big expansion to come as well, which obviously like as a streamer as well is an extra big thing. But I wasn't expecting Breach to be as big as it was, so I'm
hmm
pretty positive. I honestly, when I was reading about Breach, I was like, "What have they done? Like, this sounds so fucking boring. This is just like reskin Beyond." Then I
yeah,
opened a Breach, and I was like, "Wait, what? No, I'm dying!
it's
Help!
amazing.
Help!
It's
No, what
amazing.
the fuck? There's so many of them!" And
Yep.
I fell in love with Breach within 10 minutes, and I thought it was gonna get severely nerfed because like if me and Embu, as like experienced racers and stuff, was struggling with the first breach we opened, I was like, oh, I feel so bad for anyone that just started the game. They must be getting
Yeah.
fucked on. So
Those,
I
yeah.
was I was very surprised with Breach. I thought it was super cool way that managed to cater to both new and veteran players.
Yeah, on the Reddit when you saw those highlight clips in the first week or two,
Yeah.
that was so fun. And obviously, you get better gear and it becomes, well, tool is still kind of an issue for
Hmm.
me and for a lot of other people, but now it's kind of like, okay, we're comfortable with it. But yeah, initially it was like, what is it? And then the sound, the immersion of hearing the different like otherworldly sound effect,
Yeah.
that was really nice.
Yeah, I love the ambience of PoE being like so dark and stuff. And I want them to bring back Globe Girls and the Tolman
Globe
scream.
Girls.
The scream is gone from Tolman.
Is it really
In
from the
Crematorium, they're
crematorium?
taking it away. It's not there
When did they take
anymore.
it away?
I don't know. I can't hear it. Every time I go, I'm like, where's the ah ah? It's so
Yeah.
creepy.
Isn't, are you sure you don't have your dialogue turned down?
I'm gonna go Crematorium now, but we'll find
I don't
out.
know. Why would they remove
A
that?
lot of
I
people
mean, I
told
can
me it was removed
understand.
and I couldn't see it, but it was creepy, but I like it. It's
Hmm.
funny you
Yeah.
mentioned Tull actually, because I was after the nerf, I was like on my animate, I was saying, oh, Tull isn't scary anymore. And then I did what do you call that like skill that makes your minions come to you again?
It makes your what?
Makes your minions go to you, like teleport to you.
Convocation?
Convocate, that's it. So I convocated and Tull sort of glitched out and did a 180 in my face while blowing the like yeah.
Jeez.
And almost insted me. And that was like 10 seconds after I said, yeah, no, Tull can't kill me anymore. This is easy now. And there's like
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
fucking close.
I like those little like I guess you call them like bugs, mechanics in the game that keep you on your feet because like
Bodyguards.
Chris, yeah, like right, like Chris has said, like I can't believe he actually said this. Remember when he was like, it should be a game where you come home after work, you put on the TV, and then you just like grind away mindlessly, and
Until
then
bodyguards
99%
kill
of the
you.
time, yeah, the 99% of the time you should be like just destroying everything, and then that one time that some mechanic or interesting thing happens that surprises you, and I'm glad that
Oops.
still happens.
Yeah, I mean, I agree, but I don't like dying to bugs.
True.
Weird.
Sure, that war cry thing
That
is
was,
kind of crazy.
yeah, that killed me. Okay, the next question is by Archid. Do you have any question or any ideas for a build you're gonna run in 2.6?
Yeah, if there's no massive nerf to Volspark, I'm gonna run Volspark as of right now because it's so easy to get set up. I know the build, and it's kind of cathartic to me to play that and to farm up the items and currency, and so I'll probably go with that.
Hmm, cool. And are you expecting any big nerfs?
No, I don't think so. Like I said before, there's been too much, When it would be it would be a little bit depressing for them to nerf those things. I think Chris has realized that people want to play the fun builds. You've nerfed
Yeah.
it enough. Leave
Well,
Ball Spark alone.
what about, are you as shocked as me that Vinctar is still in the game the way it is?
I mean, yes, it's like I don't like certain items where if it's there, you have to use it,
Yeah.
right? Like Dying Sun, like you have an AoE, so you like look at your
No.
gem and you're like,
No,
this
I
says
disagree. I
AoE.
disagree on Dying
You
Sun.
think
Because
really?
Dying Sun is a really rare boss drop from a really
Okay.
hard boss. Vinctar is a guaranteed item. You can even I've
Okay.
self found around 13, 14 Vinctar maps this.
Wait, so you've run the Vinctar Square that many
I
times?
have 7 full Vinctar sets in my tab right now. Like
Okay.
it's like it's a guaranteed item. And regardless, like yeah, I realize it's not super easy to self found it for a lot of people, but it's
Yep.
still a very easy item to buy for Iron World stuff for, and it's guaranteed off the boss,
Of
which is
course, of
very
course.
different than Dying Sun.
Maybe it's just pushing back the time of like the acquisition time because obviously Vinctars will come out and become affordable much earlier than Dying Sun. But
Yeah,
for maybe we lack scope because for people that play as much as us, it doesn't matter like when these things are obtainable. We're gonna get them
yeah,
anyways.
that's true.
So when I think of those things, then I think, okay, well, I'm gonna be able to have a Dying Sun and a Vinctars. And Dying Sun, you have AoE tagged on your skill, you're gonna use
Yeah,
that Dying Sun and clear the map faster, right? And so that kind of stuff. But once again, I'm against nerfs, so I don't. I don't want to say like,
Generally,
because they're
so am
too good.
I, but Vinktar's just, I don't know. Like, Dying Sun sort of just amplifies your builds, gives you more clear speed and AoE, but a Vinktar just, it's mandatory for so many builds and it completely changes the way you play the game. And you
Yeah,
virtually can't die while you have your Vinktars up.
it's true. Yeah,
I feel like it's too strong.
but they have nerfed it once. Maybe
Well,
they're giving it its time in the
I
sun.
think we should pretend the legacy version didn't exist. Come on, Valve Pact on a potion?
Yeah, that was kind of crazy. That was kind of crazy.
Um, Here is another real life question by Eric781990. Is that a tattoo on the general's wrist?
Oh yeah, this is a tattoo. It is of a heart. It is of a heart. I don't know if you can see this here.
Yeah.
I got this when I was 20 years old. Yeah, when I was 20 years old. So just a personal thing. I got it after I went back to China. I used to go back to China every year when I was in high school and I was in college. And then there was this one time where I donated blood, and I was told that it like helped save a family member's life, or it helped it like contributed to that family
That's really
member's
cool.
well-being. So I got this tattoo in
Ah,
remembrance.
very sweet. How often do you donate blood, or was it a one time thing?
It was just a one-time thing. Yeah, I'm a universal donor.
Oh, nice. I'm like, oh, positive.
Yeah, yeah. Oh.
I'm semi universal. Um, have you? Oh yeah, this big bar Brady. Have you ever thought about quitting PoE and becoming a YouTube ASMR maker?
That's something that people have told me. They're like, "Hey, we'd like more YouTube videos of the deep and scintillating voice, right?" But YouTube first, I don't know anything about video editing, and like the way I think maybe this isn't the best way to think about it, but I think if I'm spending time editing videos, making videos, I could just be playing this game, right? And so like I'm lazy in that aspect.
Yeah.
I could be allocating those resources towards playing. But I have thought about making more YouTube videos. But for now, it's just kind of I focus on playing the game first, and for the ASMR, it just happens naturally on stream if my mic is close enough to my mouth.
So have you thought about doing like a co-op with Havoc and tag teaming your viewers?
Tag teaming my viewers with Havoc.
Yeah.
Hmm. Me and Havoc don't talk that much, but it is a possibility. Maybe.
Yeah, because
Yeah, I like
Havoc
his
did
voice a lot.
yeah, it's very relaxing. Havoc did like an ASMR thing on my stream where I read my stream a bedtime story before I was ending. Yeah,
Wow.
it's very cool. Havoc's very nice. He's helped me a lot with my stream.
He's a nice man. Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and then like if they want to wake up, we can have me speak a little bit at the end. I'll wake those fuckers right up. Uh,
The Irish accent.
Hi. They'll remember it. Husky's questions was, could you give us please some of that ASMR as well? So it's very popular.
Could you please give us some of that ASMR? Okay, sure. Here we go. Hey guys, welcome to Zizaran's AMA. Thank you so much for tuning in. You guys are the best, and hopefully you've enjoyed your time here. And I'm trying to answer the questions the best I can. Yeah, thanks, guys.
That almost sounded like we were ending. Um,
Yeah, we're not ending though, right? No, there's plenty more
um,
questions here.
the next question is by Blue Bear, and one of the favorite thing a lot of people have that you say is RMT.
hmm
So always jokes about RMT, but do you actually buy stuff? Your currency is unrealistic.
hmm let's see. Yeah, they're probably referring to like a few weeks ago. I gave away like 440 exalts,
Yeah.
pure currency. No, there's absolutely no RMT on the stream, and it's a very funny story because when I contact Twitch support, I won't say how I know, because those conversations are, I guess, private. But my account used to get reported like 4 or 5 times a week to
Mm.
Gigi support because of the RMT tag that was in
Ah,
the RMT tag was in my avatar for the channel.
all
And
right.
there was like this RMT command in my chat that links to the PoE MTX shop. And so, Gigi is keen on what that's a meme in the channel. And the reason you can kind of know that it's it's not a thing is because on stream I have gone days where I'll make like 40 exalts in like, 6 or 7 hours just by mapping and like
Hmm.
doing trades. And then also, I'm sure you can chime in on this. If I were to ask you, is when you turn off your stream, if you took all the, I guess, donations and handouts and from people who are quitting the league, how much money would you actually have if you accepted everything?
I'd say okay. So right now, I've obviously been like mass producing currency the last 7 days, and I have around. Once I'm done with my trades, I should have around 5,000 chaos and 100x. I'd say if I took all the stuff I've been offered right now, like if I'd been
Hmm.
taking all the stuff, both like off, like a lot of people offer me midstream as well, like, hey, do you want this if I'm
Yep.
quitting? I would say I would have just with like adding chaos, maybe like 15 to 25,000 chaos.
Yeah,
I've been
it's
offered at
crazy.
least 10 to 15 free 16 shafts this thing. Like
Yeah.
the main reason as well that I don't take it is not because of like I'm not it's not about me worrying about other people like other people's opinions, but I would get bored of the game because I play every day
Yep.
until the last league. And I also feel that it's more important for me to earn everything myself because then I can actually give advice to other people like here's how you make currency, here's some tips. If I take
Hmm.
like free shops, it's like, well, you get all your stuff for free. Why would we follow your economic advice?
Yep, absolutely, absolutely. I can see your point there. And so, like to the people wondering, if you just play the game a whole lot, or you have certain strategies that go into, your into the league, you're going to be able to afford anything you want, right? And the 440 exalts that I gave away a few weeks ago, that was all funded by viewers. We had this stash tab, and the rule was once the stash tab it was a quad stash tab. Once it got
Hmm.
filled up, we'd give it all away. And so it only took like 2 weeks to fill it up with 440 exalts worth of um, value, right? And so, so the point I'm trying to make is you don't need to RMT when you're streaming, as maybe as incendiary as that comment might be, because it's like, oh, well, now I just need to download OBS and start streaming. It's just the truth of it,
Yeah.
you know.
Oh, for sure. And for me, the biggest thing I obviously watched Havoc a lot early on, and it's a quote he said like, "You shouldn't complain about being poor if you spend more than 2 minutes between maps,
Yeah,
because as long as you're like constant, the most and people are like, what can I do to like improve?" And I'm just like, well, you're in my stream asking a question right now. You could have done a map in that time, for example, right? So like just being efficient, and there are so many different ways of making currency.
yeah. And I like the thing you said about like you want to earn everything yourself, right? It
Hmm.
it lends weight to when you actually talk about currency making and stuff like that, and especially play hardcore, so it's even compounded. For me, I don't ever push ladder. I
Hmm.
got to a level 100, but it was just out of like I wasn't actively pushing for it,
Yeah.
and so for me, I'm just like a guy trying to play the game and like run some maps, right? So I have taken recently I took like 15 exalts to play Resident Evil 7 for a little bit, and it was too spooky, so I couldn't do it. But so I mean, I don't think that stuff cares. That stuff matters, right? And a lot of the stuff though, I think, and you can give me your thoughts after. Don't you think a certain portion of the currency RMT helps us out because you go to PoE trade? You know what a bad feeling it is to like look for chromatics and there's like 70 available from some guy? No, you want a guy that has like 20,000 of those that you can trade with, right?
Yeah.
And so
No, for sure.
so we can't condone it, but there are things in this game that are gray areas that provide quality of life for you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, as you were talking about 20,000 chromatics, that's probably more like botting and not so much arm. Well, I guess that is in the end RMT, I guess. But yeah, that's not like you don't see a lot of that on hardcore either, though. It's like a lot harder to do things like botting on hardcore.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Because of,
A lot of stuff that'll kill you in this game.
yeah, especially with like disconnects and stuff now and again.
Yep.
uh, next question is by Eagles Win a Twitch. Will you play the Xbox version?
Yo, what's up, Eagles? I will consider it. Like, you know how Diablo on console had different mechanics? Like the drop rates were so crazy and the items were actually like better or something. If there is a mechanical difference that is interesting or fun on the Xbox, I will consider buying an Xbox One and playing it.
Oh, I don't know. I hate controllers, so even like the controller thing we might do would be different for me. I'll see how that goes. Would you ever? This is by Waffle Opolis. Would the general ever consider doing a meetup?
You know, when I recently heard about the fan meetup in San Francisco, I believe it was, I was
Mm.
thinking, I was like, maybe next time I'll actually go to one of those things, right? Take a weekend off and like meet some devs and some people from the team and some players. But if they're talking about a meetup like just like in Chicago, probably not. I know Pox does that. Pox has his viewers come to his house, which I
Yeah.
think is a little bit spooky. But for me, you can't really tell on stream, but in real life, I am a little bit more introverted. I get my energy from being alone,
Hmm.
and so I don't do like that well around larger groups of people.
Huh. I would not have guessed that actually.
Yeah.
Um. Next question is by Roven70. What do you think the current strongest build is, capable of all endgame content?
I would say good overall builds like Blade Flurry, Howa. There's also I'm factoring clear speed and mapping ability and
Yeah.
farming ability into this as well. Um, so you can even go Cosprey's Discharge. It can still kill Shaper. It can still kill Guardians. It just takes a lot more investment. But probably some kind of Howa or Spectral, like Spectral Throw, Blade Flurry variants are pretty good right now.
And don't you feel that the way you answer that question shows how balanced the game is right now as well? Like in the past, if someone like say like 5, 6 months ago, someone asked me what is the strongest build right now, there would have
Hmm.
been no hesitation with me saying cock discharge.
Yep.
It's
Yep.
better than anything else by a mile. And that would have been the case for a very long time. Whereas now, I generally ask like, well, what do you want to do with it? What's your
Yep.
budget? Like, there's so many more. It's so balanced right now, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's great that we've taken a step back from that 20 times per second discharge. There's still, a host of issues and
Yeah,
stuff, but now there is more choice and you can actually ask somebody what are your goals with it, right? Because end game boss killing, you only want to do Shaper or Guardians is very different than I want to farm strands all day and or make monies.
yeah. The next question is by the crafting salesman master James Belton. And what do you think is the best thing to craft for profit?
Yo, James Felton, what's up, man? Good to see you here. So, as I said earlier in the AMA, I don't know anything about crafting. If I were to craft something, I would say, does running Uber Lab for enchants
No,
as like a very
no,
steady
no,
thing count? No,
no.
then I don't actually know. I don't craft at
Love
all.
crafting.
Like, yeah, I'll like if I anytime someone asks in my stream, I'll be like, I'm sorry, I am a complete noob on that subject, and you have to ask like one of the more known crafting streamers.
That's fair. That's fair. I believe
Yeah.
you don't like crafting. It's so
Uh,
calming.
RNG. Like let me give you an example. A week ago, I was trying to craft this hubris, but I didn't know how, and I had like 1,000 chaos, and I just spammed like 500 chaos into it, and then the entire time the chat was like, he didn't check this T1, he didn't check that T1, he didn't exalt this thing, and like if I did get something to like exalt, I'd like block like the wrong prefix or suffix, and then like there's this one time this guy gave me absurd insanity gloves, like 200 plus insanity gloves, ES. And I was supposed to exalt for a flat percentage ES roll, but I forgot to take off um, the crafted thing and block something else. I
Oh.
just like ruined the gloves on stream. I was like, no, no.
Hey, so speaking of crafting and streamers, this is a question for me. Do you ever get frustrated when people say things like streamer RNG and they're not memeing? Like when someone, for example, I saw a post on Reddit from a newer player who was like, "I fucking hate streamer RNG. It makes me not want to play the game. I'm really annoyed." And like when people don't meme about it, how do you feel?
I think it's so hard to translate the meaning through text, right?
Yeah.
You don't know if that person's actually just like, it's the same reason people like spam like cute dog or lol face in the chat because they don't want to like jump on something that everyone else can connect to. But if someone actually says streamer RNG, maybe they don't have the idea of like that these things are independent events and obviously before the event happens the more chances you decide to put into it the more chances at a successful or a positive outcome will arise. So I don't mind it. It's funny when like you vol something and you get a good implicit, or it adds to the fun of the stream, and like the I guess like the Twitch PoE mm, streaming culture, that all these people have all these good items because of this one, like because of like the force, right?
Yeah. Would you be happy or sad if you found out that you had like a 20% chance better than every other player? How would you feel about it?
Um, Sorry, ask the question again.
So
I
if
was
you
reading
found
this
out,
G chat.
like, say Chris accidentally, you were talking to Chris and he told you that you had a 20% better chance for everything than any other player, how would you feel about it? Would you be
Oh,
happy or
Chris.
sad?
Yeah, I would thank him. I'd load up my account with like, to support him, I'd load up my account with like 10,000 points, and I'd whisper a prayer that it never got out. Come on, I mean, like you like that, so it wouldn't be like like we don't I'm no like trade magnate, so me having or you having 20% extra quantity bonus or rarity bonus, it's not gonna ruin the game. It
I
would
would
be
hate it.
hilarious.
I
It
would
would be
hate it.
so funny.
I would hate it so much. I would be really
And
annoyed
like
because I would feel like it would invalidate all my advice to people.
sure. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's
Because for example, I
but
I do make a lot of like guides for new players and like how I play the game, and a lot of people try to replicate it and being like, I remember like Dorabor was like, Ziz, I used to only make like 2 to 5x a league. I tried
Mhm.
playing more efficiently, and I have a headhunter in like 20x, for example, right? Like that's something I've heard from quite a lot of people, and like that advice would be kind of shit if I'm sitting here with like,
Yep,
hey,
yep. But unless you streamed and like tracked all these data sets on stream for people that could go back and find them, no one would ever know, right? You wouldn't know if you like unless you took the data, because like when I was six linking stuff, I've six link stuff in one fusing, and so have you, and I've also spent like 17 to 20 exalts
yeah,
on fusing orbs, and so people don't remember the bad stuff, right? They see like the 10 fusings, 100 fusing, they're like, oh my god, this is rigged.
yeah.
It's like, dude, I've spent quite a bit more and
Yeah, and we
have
do spend a lot of time doing things too. Like I finished my 10,000 map tiers in like first week and a 1.5 or something. Whereas like a lot of players are finishing it now, right? So it's definitely
definitely.
a big difference. Next question is by Morova, and again, got a lot of great questions. Why does Tsos say a GGG instead of GGG?
Oh, this is
GGG.
once again it's borrowed from it's in Bake Stream one time. Someone asked for his opinion on gi, and they typed it GI, and it he like went off on a tangent, like calling this person out, and he like just started laughing for like 15 minutes because he was like, it's GGG, it's not gi. And so we found that to be extremely it was so funny. And so I put that as my sub sound actually of Bake saying gee for the first time. And it's there's always like different pronunciations that I use in my chat, and it's become kind of like the culture there that we don't know how to pronounce anything. So
Cool. That's
like
fun.
but then one thing I didn't know how to pronounce. Okay, when the word SCIMITAR, the sword, how do you pronounce that?
Hmm?
Like the pirate sword. It's spelled SCIMITAR.
Scimitar.
Okay, I always pronounce it scimitar, and I
Ah,
didn't know that. Like sometimes I actually don't know how to
yeah.
like say things. So
Well, I mean, I'm Norwegian. I used to call it sword and steak.
sword.
Yeah, and steak for steak. So, what do I know? Um, okay, right. So there's a lot of different questions about solo self-found. What are your opinions of playing totally solo self-found? Do you think they should balance the game around trading? That's by Desmond Giesling and Ash. And a couple other people were asking about solo self-found as well.
Sure, yeah, yeah. Solo self-found. Barring all like the controversy on the solo self-found ladder, if people are actually solo self-found or not, the pure game style is it's nice, but only if they would up drop rates in that league. So
Hmm.
maybe what we'll find is that when they release the solo self-found league 3.0, I think it is, maybe there'll be different drop rates, because
Hmm.
what I found is that it's so slow, and like you can watch people like Project PT like chancing Skyforce and stuff like that, but overall it's so slow, and I don't think people actually like to play that slow and be just grinding through like these little lateral upgrades, right? I don't know. What do you think? Is it
Well, the thing is, they wanted to have that you can exit it at any point, so then you can't really have increased drop rates, because then you could go like, okay, well, I'm gonna play Valspark, go Soul Safan, go Valspark Dread Lake for like 5 days with my increased drop rates, and then I'm gonna join and wreak havoc on the economy.
yeah.
Uh,
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I forgot about that point. That's good. But overall, it's slow, and I like to play, screen obliteration, and I guess you would call them like meta builds. So I don't think I would ever play solo self-found without a big change to the rule set or different mechanics, like a massively buffed drop rate. But then again, I think about Diablo 3, I'm like, oh God, please, please, no more ancient items. And so, and then the game balance around trading. I think Chris has said that they never want an auction house, much to my chagrin, because they want that grind of interaction, right? And the game, like I don't think the game mechanics are balanced around trading. That's just that's I don't think they're in the same
yeah,
realm there.
no, I agree. Next question is by Sasa Storm. My question on a scale from 1 to 10, 10 being definitely, how probable do you think it is that Zizaran is actually a munchkin in streamer's clothing?
Let's see. So Ziz, I saw you get up to get a pizza earlier today.
Yeah,
Maybe it was like a delivery, and you came back, and I'll say you're probably what, like 5'8", 5'9",
5'10", 5'9", yeah.
5'10"? Okay. Yeah, so I mean, nah, anyone who's watched Ziz get up from his chair knows that he's an average sized human being, And
How tall are you?
I'm 6'1". 6'1".
Really?
Yeah, yeah. For an
What?
Asian, it's above average. I go back to
Wow.
China, people are like, "Oh my God, it's Yao Ming." No, they don't say that, but I wish. Um, but
You're massive.
when I used to go back to China for in high school and college every summer, it would be a little bit weird. But
I was expecting you to be like 5'6", 5'7".
yeah, my dad's 5'4", and I think my mom is as well.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay. Uh, right. Next question is by Fair Justice. Do you feel that giveaways attract the wrong kind of people, or are you willing to keep doing them?
Yeah, there is a certain purpose. Like giveaways do help grow your channel. The reason that I've always done it is that I've never really given back anything to my subs or my community. I don't really, I don't do crafting. I don't do these like other things. I don't do carries like you do or like build help really. And so I
Mhm.
was like, you know what? Since I don't give back anything, what would people enjoy? Well, they enjoy exalted orbs, right? So I
Yeah.
don't like constant giveaways, where we're like, oh my God, we're giving away one shavs and we're giving away one pair of boots. And, or like, those are kind of, it's a little bit much. But if you're doing a bigger scale giveaway, I have no qualms
Mhm.
about that. There's other streamers that do giveaways every 15 minutes and you're just like, come on, just play the game. I just want to play the game.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I generally personally avoid giveaways as well, and I try to be very specific about like that you don't need to be followed, because if someone only follows me for a giveaway, not that interested in them. So yeah, I
well,
have
maybe it's
very.
this effect because let's say you have the timer for people to enter, then they're watching you for like a few minutes, and then maybe they'll be like, you know what, this Irish guy is not so bad, and then they
I
actually
mean,
follow you.
they're
Maybe
forced. They're
that's like the
forced to
reasoning.
come back anyway. I'll be online all the time anyway. It's fine. They will come back. I don't need to do giveaways for that.
Yeah, yeah. Overall, like I use it as a tool to give back to like once in a while, but it's
Hmm.
not something I use to gain any kind of viewership or follows because that stuff's not,
Cool.
number one priority for me.
That's good. I like it. The next question is another. Actually, I'm pretty curious about this.
Sure.
By D Diet. You don't play music very often on your stream. Why? What do you think of music on streams?
Yeah, sure. So I've never really played music unless it's for the intro video or it's just some kind of meme happening, which is very rare. And it's because at the base level, I can't concentrate. I use headphones and they're in-ear headphones. And so all the music that plays, it distracts me from speaking to the chat as well. And
Hmm.
it distracts me from playing the actual game. So that's like the number one reason. But then the second thing is I realized that a lot of people have someone stream on for like the podcast aspect, and music can be very alienating, right? If you don't like, I love country. If it was up to me, I'd be playing Adele, Taylor Swift all day long, like no issue there. But you alienate certain people, and I
Yeah.
prefer it's like you can hear my voice, and if you want to play music, I'm sure you have a pretty juicy playlist of your own that you can put on in
Mhm.
the background. So that's why.
Yeah, that's why I try to play pretty varied music. Yeah, I don't know. I love playing music, so it's a very
Yeah,
different view from mine.
giddy up.
No, I fucking hate that shit.
I like that song.
Uh,
But have you, I'm sure you've checked out a streamer, you're like, oh, this person looks cool. You go in there and it's like death metal
yeah.
blaring. Like, what? Well,
Well,
instant back
but
button. But
that's
now
the
you can't
thing
even hit
though.
back.
There's music that is like you might not like it, but you're okay with it. Like for example, say you join Havoc stream, right? Who's gonna go like fucking classical music? This is
Hmm?
fucking horrible. I can't listen to classical music. Rah! Whereas if you're joining a stream and it's some like hardcore like under dark dubstep, I don't even know if that's a thing. And just like so many weird names for music these days, and you're just like that's all you're hearing. You're like,
Yeah.
the fuck is that, right? So there are like different music between like, sure, I like this, or I can tolerate this in the background.
Yep, absolutely.
So there's definitely like different scales there. Um. Ooh, okay. This is a great question. By Morsim, you work full time, stream 4 to 5 hours a day, and still somehow have time to hit the gym and socialize. How do you make time for it? Can you describe your daily routine?
Yeah, for sure. So I'm lucky enough in my career where, although I have an 8-hour day job, there are days where if I need to do something, I can just like go into work a couple hours later. Or like, if I need to come home for something or I have something to do, I can leave work a couple hours earlier and just like make up that work at home or something. So my daily routine on the weekdays, I just, given these two constraints, I do my work. I work with my lady of quality, so that helps a lot. So
Ah,
sometimes what I can do is if we're like, hey, after work, you want to go to the gym with me, or you want to grab some McDonald's, ooh, my favorite. We can do that, and then so it's all about time management, right? So you come home, stream for 4 to 5 hours, and as long as you still have a lot of hours in the day, as long as you plan it out efficiently. I live by myself right now, so there's not too many errands I need to keep up on. I don't have um, my social life isn't anything too crazy, so on the weekends I'm pretty easy to please, and I get to allocate my time um, pretty well.
cool. Well, that's good. Like it's very different for me because I obviously I stream like very long hours, so I mostly have time to like stream and sleep. It's just early in the league I stream less. Now I get to sleep more.
Yep.
But yeah, uh, pretty impressive how you managed to like multitask everything. I'm impressed.
Oh, thank you. Well, you're probably planning on maybe you won't even be sleeping too much with the upcoming festivities.
I'm not. I'm just like I'm still gonna stream 14 hours a day. I'm just not gonna sleep anymore. I'm just gonna no. I mean, I'm gonna be taking an actual day off, maybe
Okay.
two. So I generally never take days off. Do you
Gotcha.
have a
Gotcha.
day off a week?
No, I mean, I always, like I said, I'm always so happy to play this game and to turn on the stream. So, like, if there's a day where because of obligations, like maybe I have to go home for like a family event or something like that, and I can stream less than an hour or
Mm-hmm.
less than like a couple hours, maybe I'll be like, okay, well, it's not really, maybe I shouldn't just turn it on then. But most of the time, no, it's all good.
Cool. Yeah. How many like days have you like taken off since you started streaming? Do you think?
Since I started streaming, maybe just around Christmas is a busy time. So I took a couple days off on Christmas and maybe a random one other day. But yeah, it's been very consistent. I think I stream almost, especially recently, I just stream every day. It's
Cool.
been very fun.
Oh, that's great. You're enjoying it. I see a lot of people are asking what festivities. So I have you guys don't know, and me and General
Here
Tsos
we
talk
go.
about this sometimes. It's a really amazing girl that I met called Kitten Cat Noodle who's coming to visit me from Seattle. Gonna be here for like 8 days and in like 7 days. I'm pretty excited.
You
So
jazz?
I'll be yeah. I'm super excited, dude. I'm taking the day off for her birthday and I got special stuff planned. So
It's gonna be
Pretty.
her birthday while she's there?
So she's coming on like the 12th, and then her birthday's the 13th on Monday, and then Valentine's Day is the 14th.
Okay. Wow.
So
Valentine's Day and the birthday.
yeah,
Oof.
gotta
Ziz,
make.
you ain't getting no sleep, son.
I know.
You
Gotta make
no
sure. Gotta
sleep.
make sure the birthday's the most important though.
Hey, did you hear they're announcing or the person at the meetup said that they announced a Valentine's Day MTX set that's coming out.
To get that, aren't I?
Think about that.
Mm.
Yeah. A little in-game RMT. Sign on to her account.
Yeah, I
Bam.
know that's good. Oh, actually, I already have a plan. I'm gonna talk to my man Chris. Um,
Nice. Nice.
it inspired me. Next question is by Mactaz. By General Tso's Chicken. What is your biggest fear in life?
Biggest fear would be right now, it's that I wouldn't be the best dad. That's like a rational fear, right? The other stuff is like spiders and like monsters and like scary movies
Thanks.
and stuff. Yeah, snakes, like that stuff doesn't matter. The actual stuff I'm scared of is it's reasonable that within 2 or 3 years I'll have a child, right?
Mm.
And so I have to start thinking like what are the qualities of a good father and stuff like that. And when I look at myself, I'm like, oh man, I could never take anything seriously. I wouldn't be able to like discipline this little kid. I'd be like teaching him the RMT and stuff on stream, and so there's like a little bit of preparation for that I'm very worried about. But then I think you know what? It only took me a couple of years to learn how to play PoE and figure out meta builds. So maybe I'll be able to min max this little kid as well.
Cool. So usually these AMAs last around 2 hours, but we have a lot of good questions.
Yeah.
So are you okay with going for another like 20 minutes?
Yeah, for sure. I guess you got the questions highlighted and stuff.
Yeah,
I'm
like big shout out to all the mods helping out. You guys are doing a really,
yeah,
really good
yeah,
job.
mods are awesome. Yeah, I don't mind at all.
Next question is by Cyber Axel. Do either of you follow the lore in the game? If so, who do you anticipate of being the boss of Act 5?
Why don't you go first? Why don't you take this one first?
So I've always like I was every time like you asked me a year ago, I would be like, what lore? I don't care at all. Like just mattered. Like any PoE lore, I just wouldn't have cared about it at all. I would always have insta skipped any storyline. And the first that I started sort of caring about was the Merveil the Resto storyline, which is I found sort of cool. And
Mhm.
then I actually got that stupid fucking comic booklet. And I actually ended up
I saw
reading
that.
it when I was really sick. I read the entire thing. And I was like,
Good.
wow, this is
Yes.
really cool. They actually have like really cool backstories. So now I'm actually a lot more into it. And I think Chitus, I don't.
Shittest.
Yeah, Shitus is gonna be the boss of Act 5 probably.
Wow.
Emperor.
I know which
I think
little
he's dead.
comic you're referring to. It. The world building is amazing, right? Like
Yeah.
when you have these like side materials to look at, you're like, you know what? It's not just some game where where I rush to dried lake and now I'm killing monsters in the lake for no meaning, right? And so my favorite lore is the Malachi's dedication lore, where
Mm,
he's like on this eve of glorious rapture and he's talking about his three friends
yeah.
that happen to be his students. I like that kind of stuff, and obviously Malachi can't be the new boss, but I would enjoy. Mm, I would enjoy Vol making a comeback, because
Ah.
if you read I don't know if you read the story, like the written story by like Lot or something on like why the Templar doesn't wear pants and stuff. It was like approved by Gigi, and ultimately like Vol is like a good guy, and then he just like gets swayed, but he ultimately wants the greater good, right? And so it'd be cool to see some kind of maybe return of that. We'll see. Like Piety, Piety is like bad, but then now she's good. So who knows?
Uh, huh. I always hope Zana would be a bad boss at some follow in her father's
Zana.
footsteps. Um, right. Next question by Bonta7. What do you think needs to be done with the Ascendancy class balance?
Sure. So with theory crafting and all that stuff, I'm not the best. I know that Scion is kind of trash after right when Uber Lab came out. Scion kind of fell out of favor. So I think that's where you should start because when it first came out, everyone was like, "Oh man, think about these possibilities, the mixing and matching." But now it's like, okay, two more ascendancy points, and Scion gets the shit end of the stick with that. So maybe either buff the existing nodes on Scion to be a little bit better, or more thematic of the class that she's choosing from, and I think that's enough. The other classes are pretty darn balanced, I think.
Hmm.
There's some that obviously we wouldn't play, like because of we enjoy certain meta
Killer speed, yeah.
aspects of the game. Yeah, but I think they're all in a okay spot.
And do you think like the skill tree itself, are you okay? What would you be terribly upset if TTD was like, right, we're not changing much on the skill tree?
No, no, because ultimately a skill tree is just to get to the build. So the overall build, as long as you can play that, it'd be fine. Now, if they were to do something like, let's say they grab Ghost Reaver and CI, and they they split one, they put one on top of acrobatics, and they put another one like in the Marauder start area, then I'd be like, oh Jesus Christ, this kind of sucks. But as long as I can play the end game build with a certain theme of like massive AOE and clear speed, I will be pretty happy. And once again, a lot of the balance changing stuff is it's very easy for us to like on paper, like spreadsheet, right? Feel a certain way and like we think we know a certain way, but so much of this game comes down to the feel, right? You play a
Yeah.
class at level 90 plus for like a week or two, and you're gonna feel the difference of like changing, grabbing this keystone over that keystone, or grabbing like a single jewel socket extra. And that's like the important stuff, not this, we have to have everything on even keel with each other.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. No, I'll agree mostly. Next question is by Halto. Are you sponsored?
Sponsored? No, no, I haven't. I've never pursued or even like researched that online. One of the things that causes me a little bit of to back away from that kind of stuff is you have to promote certain things that are that could be out of your character.
Yeah.
Like if I start the show, I'm like, hey guys, by the way, I'm loving my new Corsair K70 Cherry MX Reds. Like, I don't know, or like if a massive pop up showed up on the top left of my stream, I don't know. I want to keep it as simple as possible. So, but
Yeah. That's the same approach I've said about like streaming. For example, if I got like a Coke or Red Bull sponsor, that would sort of make sense because that's
yeah.
things I like anyway.
Mhm.
Whereas if
Yeah,
I
you do it
suddenly start my
anyways.
stream with like Monster, yeah, where I don't like Monster, right? So
Get a monster tattoo.
exactly. So it's like I feel like that would be the biggest thing for me. The next question is by Relicular. Do you have a favorite game other than PoE, like a second favorite game?
Yeah, yeah. It would be easy answer. Counter Strike Go. Because CS:GO, because there's skins in this game, and there's like the skins are like kind of the tiered rarity of similar like Path of Exile, where you open this mystery microtransaction box, and if you get like a Hyper Beast or like a Neon Revolution AK-47, you're so jazzed. Obviously, they don't do anything for you in game; it's just to show off. But I like. I'm sorry, I should probably talk about the gameplay. The gameplay is very solid as well, but the MTX adds to the enjoyment.
Yeah, I used to play CS a lot. We should play a game sometime. But I was like double AK crossed some MGE or something.
Ooh.
And then I got unranked and I re-ranked and I was silver 3 and I'm like, "Wait, what?" So I was like, "I'm not grinding back up to MGE from silver 3.
Yeah,
Fuck that." I haven't actually
yeah.
played it since I saw that ranking. Like my jaw just dropped. I was like, "Are you fucking high?" Oh, so that was and like the game I got matched in as well to like test
Hmm.
was like everyone was like, "You're fucking cheating," and I was like, "Why is everyone terrible?" And then I
It was
realized
so bad.
once I got re-ranked to Silver 4, I was like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah, yeah.
So I was like, "I'm done."
I mean, you watch like the majors of it, and some of that stuff is like indistinguishable from cheating, right? Like
Yeah,
people make like the AK seem like the op and
I
stuff like
know.
that. Like, no, my God, it's so good. Like Vac just gets spammed in the chat constantly.
Yeah, no, I used to play Counter Strike a lot, especially when I was young. But then you really feel when you're 25, 26, you're like, everyone else is cheating. Fuck. Just because
Yeah,
you're so much slower.
that's true.
Next question is by Craftmaster James Belton. What was your favorite league?
Favorite league has been I like Brandis because it was a forced mechanic in the way that you go into a zone and it's there. There's no, I don't have to click on it. The mobs are going to attack me when I get close. And, you open that juicy Brandis box. And then also occasionally, the big boy, Kadira would show up and, maybe he has a headhunter for you or maybe he has some armor scraps. You never know. And so that's it, just like everything about an ARPG that gives you that dopamine rush was there. So loved it.
That's so
What about you?
interesting. I hated Verandas. Like it's
Really?
one of my least favorite leagues. Like in hindsight, it was sort of too many free giveaways. So I've always like had like most of the games I've played have been like intense and like hardcore experiences and stuff, and I like really struggling for things in games. So I've like for example, I would play Iron Man in quite a lot of games, right?
Okay.
Um, so I felt like Piranhas was sort of like a bit too many handouts. I think it was a good league, and I definitely feel it was an important league to have because so many people got to try out things they hadn't tried before, and it was some cool balance changes. I think it was a good league. I just didn't. It wasn't personally an amazing league for me. My favorite was Tempest because you had like risk reward. Suddenly you'd have like a 20 exile map, which is rippy as hell on hardcore,
Yeah.
and other times you would have like Abyssal Tempest and stuff like that, and you'd be like, "Fuck, well, I mean, this is my only tier 14 shrine. Do I want to go or do I want to just leave the map?" And I actually ended up clearing on a minus 60 chaos res cycloner. I managed to clear an Abyssal Tempest,
Ooh.
and I was doing it in a 4-man group. Everyone else in the group had chaos res, and the Abyssal Tempest hits Piety, and she zaps with her arc, and it took everyone down to like one hit. And I had like the lowest HP in the group and minus 60 chaos, right? So if that arc had like hit me as well, I was gone. I was vaporized. So yeah, no, I loved Tempest. It's like a lot of
Yeah.
fun.
That was back when the leagues were split like that. That's a really cool mechanic. Obviously, as a scrub core player, I was not able to experience that, but it was better than I believe it was Warbands,
Warbands
right?
was
Because I would
hell.
often go to that website that was like, here are the tempests. There'd be like so many troll posts like this has the what was the corrupting tempest in it when there like really wasn't. I enjoyed following that site because of the information on there. I was like, oh, I can't play it though. I have to kill basically stronger exiles in warbands.
That's something I really enjoyed in Brandis. Scam baiting. Like you message someone selling coins for a really good ratio and you watch them run into your map and you're like, shoo, that's
I think the
fun.
scamming stuff is like kind of funny. Like it's not breaking any game mechanics. It's kind of like in D2 when like a barbarian with telekinesis like takes your items and stuff like that. I like things like that because it's just funny to me that
Yeah.
this is possible in the game.
Yeah, I love when people run into my map. I think it's hilarious. Some guy actually tried to kill me that league. Literally tried to PK me. Like he was like, "Do you want an untainted paradise 2 chaos?" And I was like, "Yeah, sweet."
Okay.
I go into his fucking hideout and I'm sitting next to a DD strongbox. Luckily, I had a
Ooh,
golem out and my golem had made the DD go off. I'm like,
Jesus.
wait, what's happening? Is he trying to fucking kill me? So that was
Mhm.
pretty sketchy. And this was back before DD got nerfed as well.
Yeah, see that kind of stuff's kind of there's different levels of it, right? Like that's funny, but then there's like other things that are actually just kind of cute, like Ray's QT, someone whispering him, counting down
That
the
was
obas, and
good.
then he leaves it.
That was one of my favorite
I was like,
moments in the last
holy
six
shit.
months of PoE.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
I thought he was trolling because when he's like, if you watch the clip, he's like, "Oh no!" So I actually thought he was in on the joke. He was like, "Oh, someone's
Yeah.
messaging me." Then he logged out, and I'm like, "No
I mean, that's what
way!"
I thought. I didn't know what was going on until afterwards. I was like, wait, what? Why is that so funny? And then I look and it's a whisper from someone.
It's so good. Um, a question by Snowy M: have you ever felt burnt out by the game from the amount of time spent on Path of Exile? And have you as well been burnt out by PoE and been forced to play it since you have a larger audience?
Oh, let's see. Snowy M. Ooh, for those of you who don't know, Snowy M is like my
Wait,
my
he's the guy
son.
with the parrot.
He looks exactly like me, but younger. Yeah, he's got the parrot. It's
Love the
amazing.
parrot.
Yeah, parrot's very, very cute. And it like interacts with him sometimes, gives him a little nibble. Okay, anyway, Snowy, thanks for the question, man. Have you ever felt burnt out? Yeah, I used to. Before I started streaming, I think I said this earlier, but every league I'll play for 2 or 3 weeks, and then I'd stop because you get the gear, and then you do all the maps, and it's just you, and because you play the laggiest builds imaginable, you can't even play with parties, and so for me, leagues would die out after 2 or 3 weeks. Now with streaming, it has like rejuvenated certain aspects of the game because there's always going to be someone who is better than you, and there's always going to be someone who knows better than you. You can't get away from that, right? And because of that, with on stream, you get to experience that. You get to ask for help from people that are better. And also, like, it's not so much reliant on gameplay. Like, if you
Yeah.
watch my stream for 5 or 10 minutes, it's not actually about the gameplay. Like I said, it's more PoE is the medium in which we connect and talk about stuff. So,
Mm.
talking to viewers and stuff has rejuvenated the game. I can play until the last day of the league. Like last league, I think I played till the last day,
Yeah.
just doing crazy stuff. And yeah, it's been fantastic. And Snowy, I hope you keep streaming as well. I think you'll find great joy in it.
And with this is a question for me now. With what you said, and have you thought about streaming on Twitch IRL and just straight up like not having a medium, just like an interaction with your chat?
IRL has been soured in my mind because of some of the stuff that goes on there.
Yeah.
I understand it's IRL. Like people have said, there's this guy that like rides his bike around China in IRL stream, and there's other people that actually video log their entire life, like them driving to the grocery store and doing shopping. But then you have certain streamers that like it's just like the my free cams without the tokens,
Yeah.
basically.
No, we
I'm
do have
like,
the
oh
tokens now.
man,
We have the tip jar and everything.
oh that's right, that's right. We do. My mistake. And so I look at that and I'm like, I don't want to be around like this, And so I don't think IRL would be the best thing because under it all, like PoE is still a very fun game, right? I like getting the fat loots. Every time Exalted Orb drops, oh man, I get so jazzed. Mm. But
That's
no,
fair.
IRL is not for me.
That's fair. It's a question as well by Big Red Gaming. What are General Tso's favorite streamers to watch in the Pee-wee community and outside of it?
Sure. Outside of it, I don't watch too many people. I used to watch, I watch Crip every time there's a Hearthstone expansion
Mm.
because the chat is just pure spam and it's fun to get in on that and look at the RNG. Even though I don't even know what cards there are anymore. But in the PoE community, when I'm at work, I watch, who do I watch? I watch Mathel because I mod his channel and I
Mm.
add quotes and stuff. And so he's on the second screen. So at work, it's my main screen directly in front of me, and to my right is full screen Mathel and chat. And so some people walk by and they're like, "What is that?" I was like, "Don't worry, it's just Mathel. Move along. It's just Mathel." And and then obviously I can't catch you. You stream at a weird time. You start when I end, and then
Mm.
you end when like I'm pretty much like waking up.
Yeah.
And who else? Who's someone who doesn't? Two people that don't stream anymore, or they don't stream as much that I really miss. Angry AA and Yoji.
Yeah.
I used to watch them a lot just for the relaxed demeanor they had and the kind of that is like the identity that I wish my stream had. That I could just, you know, turn it on, not say anything for like 5 minutes and still have people be happy to be there. That's amazing.
Mhm.
And that's how I felt being there. So those two streamers, um, before this era of PoE, I really enjoyed.
Cool. Next question is by Side Effects. May include. Besides goals, what else can you do at the end of a league to keep things fun?
Let's see. To keep things fun. Side effects, what's up, man? He's also a streamer.
Mhm.
He's been streaming a lot recently.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, good to see you here. It's for me, when you have a buildup of currency and stuff, I like to just try like crazy things. Like, you just buy the gear for maybe a not so great build. Maybe we'll try like Viper Strike or like Heavy Strike. So you can do the meme builds. You can also try to test things out that you were maybe too risk averse to do early on in the stream,
Mhm.
or sorry, in the league. Like spend your money on whether crafting or gambling, and see if it pays off. So those are two of the things. For me, I have always, and maybe I'm lucky in this aspect, that I've always enjoyed killing monsters. When I blow up a screen of monsters with whatever skill, that feels good to me. Opening a strong box, that's awesome. And so I still just like play the actual game. Yeah.
And have you ever thought about doing more boss kills and stuff? Because you said you don't do a lot of that.
Yeah, I'll do that at the end of the league. So usually like it's not the most fun because like Shaper is actually like much easier than Guardians, right? Because of the roles you can get on the map.
Yeah.
So like certain scripted fights like that, or if your build is just like so suited for it, like Poison, you're just gonna obliterate Shaper. You're gonna obliterate Minotaur and Phoenix and stuff. That's not that interesting. I don't like those like scripted fights. Once again, I like killing a lot of monsters at once. But at the end of the league, I will try something. Maybe I'll try like a little double dipping poison, maybe a little double dipping ignite to kill Shaper, just because it is fun to watch and it does break up the
Yeah.
monotony of map sometimes. So maybe later in like a week or so.
Looking forward to it. So, Sir Crushington is asking, what is your view on racing? Do you enjoy them? And are you looking forward to the race weekend?
Yeah, I've no experience racing because I'm so bad at it. Like my average time to drive the lake earlier in the league is like 16 hours or something. So my leveling skills are subpar at best. Okay, so racing is like just the antithesis to what I can do. I enjoy watching people like when Raze does it. When you or Darth Waggle and other people do it. I'm like, I tune in and I'm like, oh, okay. So I see these little things that they're doing. And like some of you guys have like a team and there's a team aspect to it. And that's really cool. But it's not something that I'm just like can do myself.
Oh, are you going to try the weekend at all? Or
No, I probably won't try the weekend. It's the little short time frame stuff has never really interested me that much.
fair enough. Next question by Osna523. Is there a quality of life feature that you need to have in PoE?
Quality of life feature in PoE. The MTX sorting is pretty miserable.
Mm,
Having to change it between characters and losing some of your MTX in the stash, and God forbid your standard stash, remove only tabs and stuff. That's kind of annoying. From a game mechanics perspective, I would like some kind of auction house. I really, really would like some kind. Give me something, Gigi, please, please. All right. Like here's the trading experience. I have to like imagine someone that doesn't have two monitors or is playing on a laptop. They have to minimize their gain. They have to go to a third-party website. They have to like do all these like fill out forms, and then like they have to like they have to whisper someone, and they're probably not going to be online. It's unreliable. Oh man, it is a nightmare. So any
yeah.
kind of quality of life to improve trading would be a godsend from Gee.
Cool. That was most of the questions. I want to thank you for joining. That was awesome. I had a lot of fun. Hopefully you did too.
Yeah, no, it was fantastic. It went real smooth. I thought I was gonna be a lot more nervous. I thought it was gonna be
That was good. Like we've
uh,
talked a few times
yeah,
before as
yeah. We
well.
talk a lot,
We
but
talk.
not in front, like on stream. We talk all the time. If you guys don't know, me and Ziz, we have great heart to hearts on Discord occasionally. So this isn't like our first meeting. So we get
Yeah,
along
which
and stuff, and this is fun.
this is actually usually for me and a lot of streamers. This has been the first meeting or first time talking. Like when I had Mathil on, that was me and Mathil's first time talking. So guys, if you guys enjoyed this AMA with General Tsos, can we get some seems good in chat? I don't really want to see anything else, just a lot of seems good. So thank you so much for joining us. And the final question is by V Lusky. Could you please give us some of that ASMR?
Yeah, sure, guys. All right. Hey everyone. Thanks for watching the stream. You guys are awesome. All you guys are the best. I love the emotes being spammed, and I'll be online a little bit later. Thank you so much to Ziz. You are a true gentleman, and thanks for having me. Thanks to all the mods for helping us out, and you really touched my heart with all the amazing questions. Thank you so much.
Very sweet. And again, as he said as well, thank you guys so much to all the mods. For those of you who don't know, this was just basically me in general, so talking and then looking at the screen a little bit because we have really amazing mods who have been helping us through the entire AMA with like sorting questions, picking questions. So thanks. If everyone can write thanks mods in chat, you can see who the mods are. There's quite a few helping. So thanks mods would be good to write in chat because they really help make these AMAs better. So yeah, thanks everyone. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. General Source will probably if you're up for that Xbox thing, we can talk about that. I think that could be quite fun.
No, 100%. We can do that actually.
Cool. So I'm actually gonna remove your webcam now, so don't show off your Skype details. And I'll see you later, dude.
Okay, bye. Bye, guys. Bye.